Howdy, this is Jim Morris with Frank Sweeney at Memorial Stadium in Champaign, Illinois. Well, these two teams have not met, I should say, since 1946, when Notre Dame, led by such greats as Emil Sitko, Johnny Lujack, and Terry Brennan, defeated the Illini by the score of 26-6. Illinois went on that same year to a record of 8-2, won the conference title, and whipped UCLA in the Rose Bowl 45-14. Illinois has never defeated a Notre Dame team. The record shows 9 wins for the Fighting Irish and a scoreless tie. For this game, Notre Dame hopes to bounce back after the loss last week to number 1 ranked Southern Cal. The Irish are in better physical shape than a week ago. Kevin Hardy, the All-America defensive tackle, appears to be 100% again, and most of the Irish are healthy except for minor bruises. However, Dan Harshman and Mike Bergner will not play, and Ron Dushme is questionable. Illinois will be without the services of first-string quarterback Bob Naponic. His replacement, Dean Volkman, has been adequate, but the Illini have had problems moving the ball. However, opponents have had trouble moving against the Illinois defense, which is led by linebackers Dave Tomasula and Terry Miller. Tomasula was voted Lineman of the Week for his play against the Minnesota Gophers a week ago. The weather here beautiful, sunny and cool, temperature 59 degrees. The wind is from the north-northwest at 15 miles per hour, and it seems to be a little faster than that down on the field. Could be a factor this afternoon. And now here to bring you up to date on all the latest happenings and the starting lineups, my broadcast partner, Frank Sweeney.
Thank you, Jim. Well, it's another sellout on Notre Dame's 1967 schedule. 71,000 some folks will be here in attendance, and the fans are just about filling the stadium right now. Here at Illinois, we're high on the second deck. The field runs from north to south, and we're on the west side. The offensive lineup for Illinois at the split end position will be John Wright, number 45. He's 193, 6 feet even, 21-year-old senior from Wheaton, Illinois. At the weak side tackle will be Bob Robertson. Robertson wearing number 51. He's 228, 6'3", 20 years old, a senior from Pleasant Hill High School in Rockport, Illinois. At left guard will be Doug Redmond. Redmond is wearing number 69. He is from Evanston, a 19-year-old sophomore. He stands 6'2" and weighs 220. At center for the Illini will be Bruce Erb. Erb is from Glenbrook South High School in Glenview, Illinois, wearing number 55. He's a 19-year-old sophomore, weighs 225 and stands 6'2". At right guard will be Steve Ullman. Ullman for the Illini is from Escanaba, Michigan. He's a 19-year-old sophomore, so already we have 3 sophomores mentioned. Ullman wears number 64. He's 5'11 and a half and weighs in at 200. At the strong side tackle will be Willis Fields, wearing number 72 this afternoon. From Modesto, California, he's a senior, 274, 6'2", and is 21 years old. At the tight end will be Craig Timko. Timko is from Riverside Brookfield High School outside of Chicago, wearing number 84, 213, 6'2", 20 years old, and a senior. At quarterback for Illinois today will be Dean Volkman, a 21-year-old senior from Evansville, Indiana North High School, 181, 6 feet even, 21 years old. At the running back will be Carson Brooks from Rochelle, Illinois, wearing number 49, 223, 6 feet and 1/2 inches tall, 20 years old. He is a junior. The other running back will be Bill Houston. Houston today wears number 24. He's from Champaign, 20 years old, a junior, 5'7", 158. And at fullback for the Illini will be Rich Johnson from Canton, Illinois, over on the west side of the state, wearing number 32, 209, 6 feet and 1/2 inches tall, 20 years old, and a junior. Now, I'll be right back with the Notre Dame lineups, but first, this word from B.F. Goodrich.
Now, on a slippery field, even the best running back is going to have trouble keeping his footing. That sudden cut to avoid a tackle may take his feet right out from under him. You've seen it happen, and you've experienced much the same thing yourself in winter driving. Ice and snow on the road is more treacherous than it is on the field. So we suggest B.F. Goodrich Trailmaker Silvertown Snow Tires. Trailmaker snow tires give you solid footing, even on the slipperiest road. The wide modern tread takes hold, gives you the traction you need in the takeoff, and the deep biting edges take you around turns without trouble. BFG Trailmakers are built with tough nylon cords to give you more safe driving miles. It's possible to pay less for a snow tire, but the skid you save with Silvertowns just may be your own. Get BFG Trailmaker Silvertown snow tires for no money down and free installation at your nearby B.F. Goodrich store or dealer.
Let's pause now for station identification. Toss has elected to defend the north goal. Notre Dame will kick off. Illinois will receive at the south. So we'll give you possible offensive or possible defensive lineup for Notre Dame. At left end, Bob Kuchenberg, number 75. At left tackle, Kevin Hardy, who we hope is Halen Hardy today. At the right tackle spot, Eric Norrie. At right end, number 93, Chuck Lout. The linebackers will be Virgin, McGill, and Olson. The cornerbacks will be Dave Martin and Smithberger. The safeties, Tom O'Leary and Tom Shane. That wind down on the field is clocked at 15 miles per hour. Here at Illinois, it's a tremendous stadium, as you may well know. A double-decked affair on both sides of the field. The south end has a one-level horseshoe arrangement down there. The west end of the field is an open-ended field. There are some bleachers set up down on the grass there just beyond the north goal. The officials in today's ball game, the referee is Ramey Meyer, the umpire is Lowell Rigney, the headlinesman is James Langhurst, the field judge is Lou Lehman, and the back judge is Leonard Hines. Series standing, Illinois has not won a game in this series. Notre Dame has won 9 times and tied once. Jim Valek, in his first year at coaching at the University of Illinois, has come along quite handsomely with a team that he did not even know until just a couple of weeks before the spring training of this season. Illinois, in spite of the misfortunes that have befallen them, are about to set an attendance record with this 1967 ball club. And the appearance of Notre Dame here at Champaign, Illinois, adds to that prestige. While we have a moment, here are some early scores that have come into our ABC booth. In the first period, Columbia and Yale are scoreless. In the first period, Syracuse 7, California nothing. North Carolina 7, Maryland nothing. That's a first period score. All of these are first period unless I tell you otherwise. Penn nothing, Bucknell nothing. Brown nothing, Dartmouth 14. First period score, Indiana 14, Michigan nothing. In the first quarter, Penn State nothing, West Virginia 7. At the quarter, Army leads Rutgers 7-3. At the half, it's Yale 7 now and Columbia nothing. And a first quarter score, Virginia Tech 7 and Richmond nothing. We're well aware of what may be transpiring this afternoon in our nation's capital in Washington, D.C., and ABC, always trying to stay on top of the news and the best in sporting events, will break away if there is something of important significance that transpires in our nation's capital. We will be bringing you this Notre Dame-Illinois football game in its entirety, however. If we do cut away, we'll bring you up to date on what might have transpired in the short moments that we were away from you. The Illinois Ball Club is being introduced down there on the field right now, and you couldn't ask for a better afternoon for a football game. I recall when I was a college student, we used to hitchhike down here whenever the Irish would come in, and it made for some interesting moments. I personally am very pleased to be back here at Champaign. I was born and raised just about 50 miles away from here over in Bloomington. Had the chance yesterday to stop by Peoria and visit with my mother. And Jim, I want to tell you, in St. Joseph's home over there in Peoria, we've got a lot of roosers. They're 70 and 80-year-old youngsters, but they're sure young in heart, and they tune us in every Saturday afternoon. And also, looking across the way, we see the usual array of buses that show up at a Saturday afternoon football game such as this. People come in, they make up their plans, and bring a whole gang of folks down with them. One of those is the Glen Ellen Kiwanis Club from just outside of Chicago. I saw their gang, and they wanted to be sure to be mentioned on the air. And now down on the field, the Fighting Illini huddle around their head coach, Jim Valek, while the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame do likewise on the far side of the field. Notre Dame this afternoon in gold pants, white jerseys, those blue numerals, and gold headgear. Illinois, with their traditional blue and gold, have white pants, blue jerseys with gold numerals, and a gold headgear with a blue and white stripe right down the top. In just a matter of a few seconds now, this action will be getting underway, and to set the scene for you, here's your play-by-play announcer, Jim Morse.
Thank you, Frank Sweeney. Joe Azzaro will be kicking off for Notre Dame. Irish, as you probably know, have a 2-2 record. Illinois, meanwhile, has a 1-3 record. Irish trying to bounce back after their loss last week to Southern California by the score of 28-7. Minnesota whipped Illinois last week by the score of 10-7 in a real tight football game. Going back deep now for the Illini, Bill Hudson, number 24, and Charlie Bryther, number 47. Standing back on their own 5-yard line. Notre Dame won the toss in this football game and elected to defend the goal to our left, which is the north goal. That way they'll be taking advantage of the wind here, which is blowing out of the northwest at about 15 miles per hour. Tommy Shane holding the football now for Azzaro. There's the whistle, and there's the boot. End over end, going down to the 3-yard line to Bill Hudson. Back to the 5, 10, 15, 20, gets away from a tackler, and he's to the 22-yard line before he's knocked down by Tom O'Leary. Tommy Shane also in on the tackle for Notre Dame. So, Illinois takes that kickoff back to the 21.5-yard line, we'll call it. Well, it'll be first down, 10, Illinois. Dean Volkman in at quarterback for Illinois. Bill Hudson, the right halfback. Rich Johnson, the fullback, and Carson Brooks is the left halfback. First and 10, Volkman gets the ball, rolls to his right now, looks to pass, throws downfield, it's incomplete. That pass intended for the split end, John Wright, who going into this football game had caught 21, good for 342 yards. I'm told this boy has many of the moves of Johnny Morris, the great flanker back of the Chicago Bears. That pass, however, fell incomplete to Wright, and it's second down, 10. Ball still at the 21-yard line. There's the snap. Handoff goes to the fullback, Rich Johnson, over right tackle, and he's stopped by Eric Norrie and Mike McGill, along with Kevin Hardy, after about a gain of about a yard. That offensive line now for Illinois, the split end is John Wright, the left tackle is Bob Robertson, the left guard Doug Redmond, the center is Bruce Erb, the right guard is Steve Oman, the right tackle Willis Fields, and the tight end is Craig Timko. It's third down and 9. Back to pass goes Volkman, looks to the left side, he throws out of bounds over the head of John Wright. Back there defending for Notre Dame was Tom O'Leary and Dave Martin. So we have a fourth down kicking situation. And in to punt now comes Charlie Bryther as Kevin Hardy goes limping off the field on the far side for Notre Dame. He had an ankle injury 3 games ago, I should say, against Purdue. Came back last week and played, and was in this ball game until just injured a moment ago. The center from is fumbled. Bryther has it. He's hit. He fumbles the ball. Illinois recovers back on the 7-yard line. However, it'll be Notre Dame's football. The pass from center was bad, fumbled by Charlie Bryther, and Notre Dame has a first down, 10 yards to go. Jeff Kaiser recovered for Illinois, but it'll be Notre Dame's football at the 7-yard line of Illinois. Irish now out of the huddle. Jim Seymour and Rocky Blyer are split to the left with Seymour in the slot, I formation in the backfield. First and goal to go from the 7. There's the snap, hand ready, hands the ball to Gladjo, who is dumped as he tries the left side. Fritz Harms makes the tackle for Illinois.
Bad break for the Irish with Hardy getting hurt early in the game, as he did at Purdue on about the second play. Here he made for about 3 plays, and it looks like it's that same ankle injury again, Jim.
That it does, Frank. A loss of a yard on that last play by Gladjo. It's second down, goal to go from the 8-yard line of Illinois. I formation in the backfield. There's the snap. Hand ready, keeps the ball, rolls to his right. He's hit at the 10-yard line, gets away from one tackler, however, goes out of bounds at just about the line of scrimmage. Driven out of bounds by the safety man, Rich Erickson, and Fred Wolf for the Illini. Defensively now for Illinois, the front 6, we have Jeff Trigger, Tony Flavek, Larry Jordan, Fritz Harms, Mike Hogan, and Dick Tate. The linebackers are Terry Miller and Dave Tomasula, and in the secondary we have Fred Wolf, Rich Erickson, and Ronnie Best, the co-captain. It's third down, still goal to go from the Illini 8-yard line. Terry Hanratty calls the signal. It's the draw play to Zimmerman. He's to the 5, goes to the left side, and gets to the 4-yard line, where he's stopped by Dave Tomasula and Rich Erickson. Oh, it'll be a fourth down situation from the 4.
I would have to assume that Illinois had a good scouting report on Notre Dame this afternoon, because that play that Hanratty tried was the one that he scored the touchdown against Southern Cal on, and it didn't work here this afternoon.
Right you are, Frank. Joe Azzaro will attempt a field goal from the 12-yard line. There's the snap. The ball is up in the air, and it's good. The score is Notre Dame 3, Illinois nothing. Time in now for State Farm.
Hi, I'm Phil Foster. A guy says to me the other day, Phil, I'll never forget the day I first heard you talking about State Farm Mutual. He says, I'll never forget how you said I could probably save money with State Farm and how State Farm's low rates and fast, friendly claim service had made State Farm the biggest car insurance company there is. And Philly says, you know why I remember all that so well? I said, no. Why do you remember? He said, remember what?
Here at Champaign, Illinois, the Irish are ready to kick off. They lead 3-0, 13 minutes to go in the first quarter.
There's the kick by Azzaro. Houston and Breither back. Houston at the 5, to the 10, 15, 20, and the same spot, 21 or 22-yard line. Making the stop for Notre Dame was Tom Quinn along with Dave Martin. The ball is right at the 22-yard line. 1st and 10, Illinois. In defensively now, taking Kevin Hardy's place at the left tackle position for Notre Dame is Mike McCoy. 277 pounds, 6'5". High formation now for Illinois. 1st and 10 from the 22. Handoff goes to the fullback, 49, Carson Brooks, and he's over right tackle to about the 24 or 25. Tackle made over there by Eric Norrie for Notre Dame. Ball is right at the 25-yard line of Illinois as Len Wieslow comes in replacing Craig Timgo at the tight end position for Illinois. A gain of 3 on the play. The ball at the 25. It's 2nd and 7. High formation. Handoff goes to the fullback, Johnson, over left tackle to about the 27-yard line, and that's all. Notre Dame's Mike McGill is in there, along with Dave Martin, to make the stop for Notre Dame.
Thus far in this ballgame, all the action has been taking place inside the Illinois 30s. Almost identical kickoffs. Illinois started their first series of downs from the 21, this time from the 22. They are in possession. Here again is Jim.
Right you are, Frank, at their own 26-yard line. It's 3rd down and 6. Volkman back to pass, straight back, throws out here to the right. It's complete to right at the 34-yard line. He retreats to the 30, gets away from the tackler, and goes out of bounds at the 36-yard line. Johnny Wright.
Wright's quite a track star. When Wheaton High School, he was a great hurdler, and he's a fine track athlete down here at the University of Illinois. I was talking with some of the folks beforehand, and they think that if Johnny had a little more competition out there, he would be even greater than he is.
1st down at the 36 for the Illini. Wright is split to the right this time. Back to pass goes Volkman, looking for Wright. And it's no good, out of bounds. Wright caught the football, but he was out of bounds on the far side. Over there defending for Notre Dame was John Pergine.
Volkman has 1 out of 4, I should say. Hanratty has yet to pass this afternoon. But it's early in the game. We still have about 12 minutes remaining in the first quarter. Notre Dame leading 3-0.
2nd down, 10 yards to go. Illinois at their own 36-yard line. Wright is split wide to the left this time. In motion comes the halfback. He gets the pitch to the left. It's Houston around the left side to the 40 and hit at the 41-yard line by Tom O'Leary and Mike McGill. Bill Houston, he only weighs 150 pounds, 5'7". He may be the smallest man in the Big Ten, Frank.
Oh, he's got speed, and I think Notre Dame's getting a little tired of seeing his speed from Keys at Purdue, from O.J. Simpson last weekend, and now this fellow this afternoon. They've got to have to contain him.
The ball is at the Illinois 41-yard line, where it's 3rd and 5. Wright is flanked wide to the right this time. In motion goes Brooks to the right. The handoff to the fullback right up the center. Rich Johnson, and he's to the 49-yard line. I checked that, the 44-yard line. And he'll be shy of the 1st down. It'll be a 4th down kicking situation. Charlie Breither will be in to kick now for Illinois. Back deep for Notre Dame goes Tommy Shane. The last time the center flipped the ball a little low, got away from Breither. Let's see what happens this time. There's the snap. Good one this time. Breither gets his kick away. However, it's low and end over end, bouncing at the 35-yard line of Notre Dame and finally going out of bounds at the Notre Dame 29-yard line.
Well, we have a moment here, some scores. First half, Syracuse 7, California 7. California's tied that one up at the moment. Georgia Tech 7, Auburn 6. That's first quarter. Duke and Clemson are 0-0. At the half, Penn State 14, West Virginia 7. At the half, Penn 21, Bucknell 7.
Notre Dame out of the huddle now. 1st and 10 from their own 28-yard line. Zimmerman, the setback. Seymour is split to the right. Hanratty rolls to his left now. He's looking to throw. Being chased. Back at his 20-yard line. Finally gets the ball away. It's complete to Seymour at the 39-yard line. He's driven out of bounds immediately by Fred Wolf.
I don't know if the folks can hear, but we have the Illinois coaching staff in the booth adjacent to us, so if you hear a little pounding going on, Jim and I are not doing it. Another score, Kent State 6, Bowling Green 0. That's the first quarter score. Back to the action with Notre Dame and Jim Morse.
11 yards on the play and a first down. The ball at the 39, 1st and 10, Notre Dame. Hanratty, the quarterback, hands the ball to Zimmerman, the fullback, right up the middle to the 43-yard line, where he's stopped by Dave Tomasula, along with Tony Plavik. Hanratty is 1 for 1 for Notre Dame. That one complete to Seymour. Dean Volkman, the Illinois quarterback, is 1 for 4, completing that one pass to Johnny Wright. The ball is right at the 43-yard line. Both teams have one first down. It's 2nd down and 6 yards to go. Hanratty gets the ball, hands it off to Zimmerman to the 45-yard line. Terry Miller makes the stop. Correction, that was Rocky Blyer, the ball carrier for Notre Dame, and he stopped right at the 45.
Well, this Illinois team is charged up. They want to get back on the winning way if they possibly can. And the Irish are to see that they don't.
It's 3rd down and about 4 with the ball at the 45-yard line of Notre Dame. Blyer split to the left. Hanratty gets the ball right straight back to pass. Throw over the center, and it is incomplete to Seymour at the 45-yard line of Illinois. Defending for the Illini was Fred Wolf, the left defensive halfback.
Sometimes people like to delve into comparative scores. Illinois were 20-7 losers to Indiana, and Indiana barely edged out Iowa last Saturday, while the Fighting Irish beat the Hawkeyes 56-6 the previous weekend. But it looks like you can throw all those comparative scores out the window. This one's pretty close.
4th and 4 for Notre Dame. Kicking situation. Ron Bess and Rich Erickson go back for Illinois. There's the snap from center. Rocky Blyer kicking for Notre Dame. Gets away a good one this time. Ron Bess has it back at the 12-yard line, but he slips and falls immediately. Score 3-0. Notre Dame in the lead with approximately 7 minutes left in the first quarter.
Yeah, we had trouble with the clocks at South Bend last Saturday afternoon. The electricity failed, and here they have a rather unique clock down there at the north end of the field that we have to try to figure out to give you the time remaining.
It's 1st and 10, Illinois from their own 17-yard line. The handoff goes to Brooks right up the middle, and he is stopped right at the line of scrimmage. Big Mike McCoy in there with Mike McGill. Making a stop for Notre Dame. Defensively now for Notre Dame, we have Bob Kuchenberg, Mike McCoy, Eric Norrie, and Chuck Lauk, the front four. A loss of about a half a yard on the play. However, we'll keep the ball at the 17, call it 2nd and 10. Volkman has the ball now, rolling to his right for Illinois. Throws, and the ball looked like it might have been batted because it was a bad pass that time. Bob Kuchenberg was in for Notre Dame and did deflect that football. The linebackers for Notre Dame, John Pergine, Mike McGill, Bob Olson, and Dave Martin. In the deep secondary, we have Jim Smithberger, Tom Shane, and Tom O'Leary. 3rd down, still 10 yards to go for Illinois. The ball at their own 17-yard line. Johnny Wright goes far to the right. In the slot to that side is Bill Houston. There's the snap. Back goes Volkman. He throws to the right side. It's batted up in the air, incomplete. The pass was intended for Wright. Over there defending was O'Leary, Smithberger, and John Pergine. So, 4th down situation. And a reminder that today's football game is brought to you by B.F. Goodrich, the Straight Talk Tire people, and by State Farm Mutual, the biggest car insurance company there is. Tommy Shane will be going back deep for Notre Dame. Charlie Bryther will be doing the kicking for Illinois. He's standing at his own 3-yard line. There's the snap. A good one this time. Gets his kick away. Kind of a floater. Shane takes it. Fair catch at the 38-yard line of Illinois. And one of the Illinois boys falls over him. And we get a little reaction from the crowd on the fair catch. However, there's no penalty. And Notre Dame will take over at the 38-yard line of Illinois.
The Irish have had the best of the field position all the afternoon. They've been right down in the Illinois side of that 50-yard line. Here they are again at the 38-yard line. First down and 10 to go. They're out of their huddle, and here again is Jim.
Notre Dame, 1st and 10 at the Illinois 38. Seymour is to the left along with Blyer. I formation in the backfield. Pitch back goes to Gladjo, and he gets to the 35-yard line before he's stopped by Terry Miller, the left side linebacker for Illinois. Gain of 3 on the play. Ball now at the 35 of Illinois. 2nd down, 7. Beautiful day for football here in Champaign. A little bit on the cool side, however, about 59 degrees. Everyone happy in the stands at the moment as Notre Dame has the ball, 2nd and 7 at the 35 of Illinois. I formation in the backfield. The pitch back goes to Gladjo over left tackle. He's hit at the 32, but fights his way forward to the 30-yard line. Terry Miller again making the stop for Illinois.
It's beautiful to see this stadium packed like it is, Jim. They haven't had that fortune all the while here at Champaign-Urbana at the campus of the University of Illinois. But when they do pack it, it's a great crowd.
Ball is spotted at the 31-yard line now, where it's 3rd down and 3 for Notre Dame. Seymour split wide to the right this time. Terry Hanratty calls the signal, hands to Gladjo again. He's got the first down inside the 25-yard line. Making the stop for Illinois was Dick Tate.
Gladjo carries for first down. Dick Tate, the tackler.
Ball spotted now at the 24, where it'll be 1st and 10, Notre Dame, their second first down of the football game. Gladjo is split wide to the right this time, and split to the left is Seymour as Zimmerman gets the ball right up the center, over the 20, and to about the 18-yard line, where he's stopped by Fritz Harms, along with Dick Tate. We have an injured player on the field, Fritz Harms, for Illinois. The score is 3-0 Notre Dame. Now this word from B.F. Goodrich.
Fullback power at flanker speed. That's the kind of action you can expect this winter with B.F. Goodrich snow tires on your car. BFG Trailmaker Silvertowns are husky and wide with tough nylon cord construction. They've got what it takes to power through snow, and their deep modern tread gives them the traction to take off in a hurry, however slick the road. Quiet running B.F. Goodrich Trailmaker Silvertowns can be yours for no money down, and installation is free. See Trailmaker Silvertown snow tires soon at your B.F. Goodrich store or dealer.
Syracuse 7, California 7.
George Carlin here for the makers of State Farm Insurance.
Carlin for State Farm.
Mr. McCarty's windshield. Don't be upset, sir. Mr. McCarty has complete comprehensive insurance on hand from State Farm Mutual, the world's largest car insurer. Low-cost State Farm goes to work fast when trouble strikes. So when doves or other neurotic birds fly through Mr. McCarty's windshield, State Farm picks up the bills.
Right through the windshield.
What's wrong, sir? It wasn't your windshield.
It was my dove.
Fritz Harms now coming out of the football game for Illinois. Defensive guard, 6'3", 209, and a senior from Rochelle. He's replaced by Mike McDonough. It's 2nd down 5, the ball at the 19-yard line now. As the handoff goes to Hanratty, hand that ball. Let's see. I couldn't see, but the tackle was made by Dave Tomasula. It was Gladjo again. He came on last week for the injured Dan Harshman and did an outstanding job in the Southern California game, catching 7 passes and carrying the ball from the line of scrimmage for a total of 35 yards. The ball now is at the 12-yard line, where it's 3rd and 3. Blyer to the left, Seymour to the right. Hanratty the quarterback. There's the snap. Hanratty back to pass again. Being chased now. He is hit and still fighting. He gets away from 4 tacklers and is finally brought down at the 18-yard line. Jeff Trigger, the left defensive end, was finally the man that brought Hanratty down. And Terry literally slipped from the grasp of at least 5 different tacklers.
Jim, I think it's very interesting to note on that play that Hanratty was ready to eat that ball. He kept fighting to get free, and he did finally get free for short yardage. But it was the game last Saturday where he threw a couple of desperation passes in that situation, and it cost Notre Dame.
That's exactly right, Frank. This will bring in Joe Azzaro. He'll be attempting a field goal from the 26-yard line. There's the snap. The ball is kicked. It's up in the air. And it's good. Notre Dame leads in this football game by the score of 6-0 by virtue of 2 field goals by Joe Azzaro. One from the 12, one from the 36. There's approximately 5 minutes left here in the first quarter as Illinois will be receiving. They trail in the ball game 6-0.
We have some other scores in. First quarter score, Cornell 0, Harvard 14. At the half, North Carolina 7, Maryland 0. First quarter score, Maine 0, Connecticut 7.
Azzaro will be kicking off for Notre Dame. Charlie Breither and Bill Houston are back deep for the Illini. There's the kick, end over end this time. And back to Breither at the 2-yard line. He's back to the 5, the 10, being chased. Gets away from one tackler, brought down at the 16-yard line by Chuck Lauck. Bob Olson, the sophomore linebacker for Notre Dame, was also in on the tackle. Olson leads all the tacklers at Notre Dame going into this football game with a total of 49. Coach Johnny Ray for Notre Dame says that Bob has one weakness. It's his over-aggressiveness. He said, of course, that's the type of weakness we like to see in a sophomore linebacker.
Jim, there was a flag down in the field. I noticed the Notre Dame ball club retreating, so it looks like they're going to kick over again. That actually was the best kickoff that Azzaro has had this afternoon. Had been kicking to about the 5-yard line. That time the receiver was at the goal line. Notre Dame was offsides on the kickoff, so they will kick again, this time from their own 35-yard line. Here at Champaign-Urbana, it is Notre Dame 6 and Illinois 0 with the Irish ready to kick off again.
And it's Bill Houston and Charlie Breither going deep again for Illinois. Azzaro again will be kicking off for Notre Dame. The ball spotted this time at the 35-yard line after a 5-yard penalty for offside on the kickoff. There's the whistle, and there's the kick. Good kick again this time. It's Breither. Over his head, goes into the end zone and out of the end zone. That'll be a touchback. Move the ball out to the 20-yard line where it'll be 1st and 10 for Illinois.
And one of the fans has stolen the football, but here they come. The gendarmes and a couple of assistant managers. They're ready to either take the ball or have that fan depart this ball game.
Bob Best, the sophomore, will be in at quarterback now. He's the brother of Ron Best, the senior defensive back and co-captain. Brooks, Johnson, and Houston are the running backs. Best gets the ball, goes back to pass. He's going to run with it now. He's to the 23-yard line and tripped up and rolls forward to the 25. The ball probably will be spotted about the 24-yard line. Bob Best.
Notre Dame pass defense had Johnny Wright double-teamed on that one, and the quarterback had no place to go with the ball, so he had to run with it, and did so, moving it up to the 24.
Best was tripped up that time by McCoy and Norrie. It's 2nd down 6, the ball at the 24. Right is split to the left. Bob Best gets the ball, rolls to his right now. He's being chased. He's going to run with it to the 25, to the 28-yard line, and he's stopped over on the far side of the field by 3 Notre Dame tacklers, including, let's see, Eric Norrie is over there, John Perzine is there, and Mike McGill.
Let's pause now for station identification.
Third down and 2 from the Illinois 28-yard line. The handoff goes to Johnson over left tackle. He does not get the first down. Rich Johnson, carrying over the left side, was stopped by Dave Martin, along with Eric Norrie and Chuck Lauck. So again, a punting situation. Charlie Breither will be in to do the kicking for Illinois. The Illini have 1 first down in the football game. Notre Dame has 2 thus far. And there's approximately 3 minutes left in the first quarter. Notre Dame has the lead 6-0. Tom Shane is back deep to receive the punt for the Irish. There's the snap, a good one. Breither gets his kick away. It's end over end. It's Shane at the 45 of Notre Dame, back to the 50, to the 45, the 40, to the 35, and to the 33-yard line goes Tom Shane. And the kicker, Charlie Breither, makes the stop for Illinois.
And Mike McCoy was beautiful to watch that time because Mike came back to about the 50-yard line, and he put a block on an Illinois defender there that sprung Tommy for the additional yardage. And boy, that Illini really felt that block from McCoy. It was solid, it was hard.
Notre Dame out of the huddle. First and 10 at the Illinois 33-yard line. There's the snap. It's the draw play to Blyer. He's to the 30, to the 25. Gets away from a tackler and spins to the 20-yard line. Terry Miller makes the stop for Illinois as Rocky Blyer moves 13 yards to the 20-yard line. Notre Dame's third first down in the football game. Notre Dame doing much more running so far in this football game than they have in the past 4. First and 10, Notre Dame at the 20-yard line of Illinois. Gladjo and Seymour are to the right this time as Hanratty gets the ball, hands to Zimmerman, and he gets about a yard off left tackle before he's stopped by Dick Tate.
Some scores at the half: Dartmouth 21, Brown 6. First quarter score: Miami of Florida 24, Pittsburgh nothing. At the half, Connecticut 7, Maine nothing. At the half, well, we gave you that Miami score. They've changed it now to 38-0, Miami of Florida over Pittsburgh.
2 minutes left in the first quarter. Notre Dame with the lead, 6-0. They also have the football. Second and 10 at the 20 of Illinois. Zimmerman gets the ball over left tackle to about the 16-yard line. The stop again is made by Dick Tate and by Mike Donahue. Check that. That's Mike McDonough. Ball right at the 16-yard line. It'll be third down and 6 with the ball at the 16-yard line of Illinois. Gladjo and Seymour are to the right for the Irish. There's the snap. Back to pass goes Hanratty. Throws out here to the right. Complete to Blyer. 15, 10, and flies to about the 7-yard line. Rocky Blyer, the captain. A good comeback block that time by Bob Gladjo. Fred Wolf was the man to make the stop for Illinois.
Picked up another first down on that one. The Irish now have that football very deep in Illinois territory at the 7-yard line. They're leading 6-0. Here's another score. First quarter, Princeton 7, Colgate nothing. Back to the action here at Champaign, Jim Morse.
Hanratty is now 2 for 2. A minute left in the first quarter. The ball is at the 7-yard line. Goal to go for Notre Dame. First and goal. Zimmerman gets the ball right up the center. Touchdown, Notre Dame. Jeff Zimmerman took that handoff from Terry Hanratty, went right up the middle behind the blocking of Tom McKinley, Steve Quinn, and Dick Swatland. He was hit at about the 3-yard line and dragged Rich Erickson into the end zone for the touchdown. So Zero will be in to kick to attempt the extra point for Notre Dame. Hanratty will hold. There's the snap. The ball is placed. It's up in the air, and it's good. The score is Notre Dame 13, Illinois nothing. And now this word from B.F. Goodrich.
Here in the stadium, a long run usually brings a loud roar from the crowd, and that's fine. But on a long drive in your automobile, the steady roar of snow tires can be mighty irritating. And that's one reason you'll really like B.F. Goodrich Trailmaker. They're a quiet-running snow tire, yet they're packed with pulling power. 4-ply nylon Trailmakers have deep biting edges and a wide, tough tread that takes hold of ice and plows through snow. B.F. Goodrich Trailmaker Silvertowns, no money down and free installation at your B.F. Goodrich store or dealer.
Notre Dame ready to kick off. They lead in this ball game, 13-0. Zara moves up to kick, and here's the
Houston and Bryther back. Bryther in the end zone, about 2 yards deep. He elects not to run it out. That'll bring the ball out to the 20-yard line. It'll be first down, 10 yards to go, Illinois. Bob Bess, the sophomore, will be in at quarterback once again, replacing Dean Volkman. The running backs are Carson Brooks, Rich Johnson, and Bill Houston. First and 10, Illinois from their own 20-yard line. They have one first down in the ball game thus far, as against 5 for Notre Dame. Right, way to the right this time. Bess hands the ball to number 32, Rich Johnson, over the right side. He's to about the 22-yard line. Before he's stopped by John Pergine.
Rick Johnson, ball carrier. John Pergine.
2 yards on the play. Second down, 8. About 30 seconds left here in the first quarter. It's second down, 8 from the 22 of Illinois. There's the snap. On the option play comes Bess, gets away from the tackler, but does not get away from the second tackler at about the 23 or 24-yard line. The second man was Mike McGill. Bobo Olson also in there, along with Chuck Lauf for Notre Dame. Lauf gets up. He's limping a little bit.
Number 60.
However, it looks like he's going to be all right. The ball is right at the 23-yard line of Illinois. the end of the first quarter with the score. Notre Dame 13, Illinois nothing.
Hi, I'm Phil Foster. One of the big things about the new cars are those disappearing headlights, which reminds me of Louis back in the old neighborhood. Louis could make 40 or 50 headlights disappear in one night, along with a dozen set of hubcaps and a few batteries. But people seem to like Louis, because sometimes they leave their cars unlocked, in which case Louis make the whole car disappear. The other day I'm coming out of a delicatessen, and there's Louis. He says, "Hey, Foster, what are you doing these days?" I said, "Mostly telling people about State Farm Mutual, the biggest car insurance company there is, and how they'll get fast claim service and probably save money with State Farm's low rates." I said, "How about you, Louis?" He said, "I'm a teacher now, Phil. I go around the country teaching people to keep their cars locked." I said, "Can you teach people that?" He said, "Sure. You notice that empty parking space over there?" I said, "Yeah." "Hey, what happened to my car?" Louis says, "You see, I just taught you to keep your car locked."
On a perfect afternoon for football, ABC bringing you the Illinois-Notre Dame game from Champaign-Urbana. Beginning the second quarter, Notre Dame leading 13-0. Illinois has the ball. Jim Morse.
3rd and 7 from the 23. Best back to pass. Now he's going to have to run. He's being chased. He's brought down as he comes up the center. Chuck Lau making the stop along with Mike McCoy for Notre Dame. So again, a kicking situation for Illinois. They have only one first down so far in the football game as Charlie Bryther comes in to kick for Illinois. And that, of course, will send Tommy Shane back deep for Notre Dame, standing at approximately his own 40-yard line. Bryther standing at his own 10. There's the snap. Good one again. He gets his kick away. It's end over end. Going to Shane at the 35 of Notre Dame. Back to the 40. And to the 45. Gets away from one tackler. Can't get away from that third tackler, however, who was Bryther once again, and drives him out of bounds at the 47-yard line of Notre Dame. A nice return by Shane of about 12 yards.
Shane was fighting for real estate all the way along. He was getting good blocks, but as he'd get a block, there would be another Illini ahead of him, and he had to settle for the distance, which he got to the 46-yard line.
It's 1st and 10, Notre Dame from their own 46-yard line. Seymour is split wide to the right. Terry Hanratty gets the football, hands off to Rocky Blyer right up the center, and he's to the 48 or 49-yard line. Plavik making the stop, along with Mike Hogan for Illinois.
Quick recovery by the Illini that time. The hole opened up, but by the time that Blyer got to the line of scrimmage, that hole had closed up, and Blyer ran into a solid wall there at the 48-yard line.
2 yards on that play. It's 2nd down and 8. As Gladjo and Seymour go to the right side with Seymour in the slot. Blyer and Zimmerman are the setbacks. It's the draw play to Blyer. He's to the 50, to the 45-yard line of Illinois before he's stopped by Plavik again for the Illini.
Nice run by Blyer because he picked up 2 yards over the middle, then saw his way blocked, cut to his right, and picked up the additional yardage to the 45-yard line. More scores at the quarter. Northwestern nothing, Ohio State nothing. At the half, Army 14, Rutgers 3.
3rd down and 1 for Notre Dame. The ball at the 45-yard line of Illinois. Tight formation this time for Notre Dame. The handoff goes to Zimmerman. He's got the first down over right tackle. Dave Tomasula making the stop for Illinois with the ball now at the 42-yard line of the Illini. That's the 6th first down of the afternoon for Notre Dame.
We'd like to alert you to the fact that ABC, as is its usual habit, will bring you news during the halftime period today, and there may be big happenings around this country of ours this afternoon.
1st and 10, Notre Dame from the Illini 42-yard line. Terry Hanratty calls the signals. There's the snap. Handoff goes to Blyer over right tackle, and he's to about the 38-yard line before he's dropped by Dave Tomasula again. This boy is in on almost every tackle for Illinois. Fine linebacker, 6'2", 220 pounds. Gain of 4 on the play. The ball is spotted at the 38, where it'll be 2nd down and 6 as Notre Dame comes out of the huddle. Blyer is flanked to the left. Jim Seymour is split to the right. Gladjo and Zimmerman are the setbacks. Terry Hanratty hands to his fullback, who is dropped right at the line of scrimmage. Jeff Zimmerman is dropped by Mike McDonough. Terry Hanratty so far in the football game has only thrown 4 times. He's completed 2, 1 to Captain Rocky Blyer and 1 to Jim Seymour. And Seymour is 1 pass away from tying the all-time Notre Dame pass receiving record of 71 catches by Joe Heath. Right now, Seymour has 70. It's 3rd down and 6. at the 39 as Hanratty goes back to pass, throws over the center. It's complete to Seymour at the 30-yard line. He was dropped immediately by Fred Wolf, and that'll be another first down for Notre Dame.
A good demonstration of the hands that Jim Seymour has. Wolf actually was hitting him. Seymour leaned back toward the line of scrimmage to haul that one in and hung on to it as he was dropped to the turf.
A gain of 9 yards on that play. It's first down, 10 yards to go. Notre Dame from the Illini 30-yard line. There's the snap. It's the draw play to Zimmerman, and he is to the 26-yard line before he's stopped by Terry Miller. And I mentioned a moment ago that Jim Seymour was about to tie an all-time Notre Dame record, and he did that with his last catch. He has now caught 71 passes in his career at Notre Dame, and that ties him with Joe Heath, who was a great Notre Dame football player in 53-4-5. It's second down 6, the ball at the 26-yard line. The handoff this time goes to Rocky Blyer, and he fights his way forward to perhaps the 24-yard line before Tony Plavek brings him down for Illinois.
When you stop to reflect on Seymour, this is the 5th game of the season. He's a junior, and he's already tied the record, so every pass from now on that he catches, Jim, is going to establish a new record.
That it will, Frank, a brand new one. And he's certainly had a tremendous career already at Notre Dame, and he's only a junior. It's third down and 4, the ball at the 24-yard line of Illinois. Out to the left this time, and in the slot is Seymour. Seymour gets the pass, catches it at the 20-yard line. That was a quick spot pass going from Terry Hanratty to Jim Seymour, and he was brought down almost immediately by Ron Bess. And the ball is spotted just outside the 20-yard line with about a half a yard to go for the first down. It'll be fourth down and a half a yard.
Kind of a pass that's almost impossible to defend again when the quarterback just flips right out to the side.
And Seymour has just set an all-time Notre Dame record with his 72nd reception. Fourth and about a foot. Everyone's in tight. Hanratty gets the ball. It goes to Zimmerman. First down over right tackle to the 18-yard line. Dave Tomasula, along with Terry Miller, the two linebackers, make the stop for Illinois, but not before Jeff Zimmerman, the sophomore fullback from Origsburg, Pennsylvania, makes it a first down for Notre Dame.
Some more scores at the half. Kent State 6, Bowling Green nothing. First quarter, Boston College nothing, Buffalo 7. At the half, Duke nothing, Clemson nothing.
The score is Notre Dame 13, Illinois nothing, and now this word from B.F. Goodrich.
Football, you've got to dig, dig, dig when you're driving in for a score. And you know, in the kind of driving you'll be doing this winter, you'll need the same kind of hard-charging power. So get it with B.F. Goodrich Trailmaker Silvertown Snow Tires. They're 4-ply nylon tough with a tread that digs into ice and snow and keeps you driving ahead. BFG Trailmakers run quiet, too, and you can have them installed free for no money down. Trailmaker Silvertown Snow Tires, only at your nearby B.F. Goodrich store or dealer.
The first person in each row should start passing out the color five cards. Here's the first period score.
Here at Champaign-Urbana, Illinois, the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame lead Illinois 13-0. Timeout still on the field, and we have some scores that we can pass along to you. First quarter score, Purdue 7, Oregon State 7. First quarter, Georgia 14, VMI nothing. First period, Alabama 7, Tennessee 7. We haven't had anything in yet on the Michigan State Minnesota ball game. It just got underway a few minutes ago. But the Notre Dame fans, of course, will be watching that one because next Saturday afternoon at South Bend, it will be the Spartans of Michigan State against Notre Dame. Back to the action here in Champaign-Urbana. The Irish have first down, 10 yards to go. Jim Morris.
Irish out of the huddle now. With first and 10, as Frank told you, at the 18-yard line. Hanratty goes back to pass, rolls to his right. He looks now, throws over the center. Touchdown, Notre Dame to Seymour. What a kick!
That was fascinating to watch because I had my eyes on Gladjo, and he was wide open right at the goal line. And watching him, I saw that pass caught, and for the briefest flash of a second, I thought it had been intercepted until I saw that it was Seymour with the ball.
And what a catch it was, Frank, going high in the air with Ron Best right on top of him. He dragged that ball in for the touchdown. Nazaro will attempt the extra point. There's the snap. It's up in the air. And it's good. With the score, Notre Dame 20, Illinois nothing. Let's call in our friend from State Farm.
Hi, I'm Phil Foster. To be or not to be, that is the question. Whether to venture out alone or to place upon thy bumper the sign of State Farm Mutual, the world's largest car insurer, and thereby mark thy car as one to which a State Farm agent would quickly come with aid, shouldst thou chance to smash it up. Hey, is that beautiful? Somebody sent that to me last week. It's from Hamlet, a little town about 12 miles west of Plymouth, Indiana.
This is Frank Sweeney along with Jim Morris at Champaign-Urbana, where the Irish now kick off leading 20-0.
Into the wind as Zarrow kicks. It's taken at the 14-yard line. Back to the 20, 25, and to the 27-yard line goes Bill Houston. Upended on the far side of the field by Chuck Louth.
If you joined us late, Notre Dame kicked off, and Illinois could not move the ball. The Irish scored first on a 21-yard field goal by Zarrow with 13 minutes to go in the first quarter. With 5:45 in the first quarter, he kicked a 36-yard field goal, making it 6-0, and now the Irish have run up 2 TDs.
And the ball is at the 28-yard line of Illinois. First and 10 for the Illini. Back to pass goes Bob Bess. He throws. It's incomplete. The pass was intended for tight end Craig Timko. Timko, going into the football game, had caught 5, good for 62 yards.
Coach Johnny Pont down at Indiana University has won 4 games already this season, and he must be beside himself with elation. At the half, Indiana leads Michigan 20-7. Michigan was favored.
Second down, 10 from the 28. Bob Best back to pass again, chased by Kuchenberg. Kuchenberg falls. Now he's being chased again. Finally gets the ball away. And it is complete at the 35-yard line. Carson Brooks took that pass from Bob Bess, who was throwing the football as he was almost on the ground. Mike McGill was in there rushing Bob Bess, and Bess couldn't have been more than a foot or two off the ground when he got that pass away, completing it to Carson Brooks at the 35-yard line.
The amazing thing about that, there were no ineligible receivers downfield.
Right you are, Frank. It's 3rd and 3 from the 35. The pass goes to right. It's complete at the 42. And they rule that Johnny Wright went to his knees at the 43-yard line, but it'll be enough for a first down. The Illini second first down of the football game. The ball is spotted right at the Illini 44-yard line as they begin to move the football.
Squeezing in here with a couple of scores. At the half, Virginia Tech 14, Richmond 7. First quarter, Miami of Ohio 7, Ohio University nothing.
It's 1st and 10, Illinois at their own 44. There's a penalty marker down, and the pass is intercepted this time by John Pergine at the 50. He gets back to the 41-yard line of Illinois before he's stopped by Carson Brooks, but there's a penalty marker on the play.
There's a flag on the play. Carson Brooks makes the tackle after the interception.
Illegal procedure, I think, is the call or indication against Illinois, so Notre Dame probably will take the ball. That's their wisest move. That's what they do.
That's exactly right, Frank, and that'll bring in the offensive team now for Notre Dame. They'll take possession at the 41-yard line of Illinois.
More scores. First quarter, Iowa State 7, Missouri 7. Third quarter, Yale 14, Columbia nothing. At the half, Miami of Ohio 14, Ohio University nothing.
Irish out of the huddle. 1st and 10 from the 41-yard line of Illinois. Gladjo is to the right, Seymour to the left. Terry Hanratty gets the football, goes back. He sets, he throws, and it is incomplete at the 30-yard line. Way over the head of the intended receiver, Bob Gladjo. Defending for Illinois was Fred Wolf.
You know, that's one of the
side halfback. Frank, go ahead.
Sorry about that, Jim. I was just going to say that's one of those situations where the quarterback knows the moves of his receiver quite well, and I think he thought Gladio was going to move to the outside, and Gladio went to the inside, and that's why the pass was so far overthrown.
Second down, 10, still at the 41-yard line of Illinois. Gladjo to the right, Seymour to the left. Hanratty gets the ball, back to pass, plenty of time. He looks long, he throws for Flyer. It's intercepted at the 15-yard line. Dick Tate makes the interception for Illinois. So, turnabout is fair play, Frank.
Seymour was just about 5 yards shy of the mark that time, and I wasn't sure in my own mind whether the pass was overthrown, intended for Seymour, or intended for the deep man. However, it went incomplete, intercepted, so Illinois owns the ball.
And they have it at their own 16, 1st and 10. Bob Bess is the quarterback. He goes back to pass, throws a nice pass. It's incomplete at the 30. It was intended for Bill Houston. Defending for Notre Dame, over on the right side was Dave Martin, Mike McGill, Tom Shane, and Tom O'Leary were all over there for the Irish. Second down, 10 yards to go, Illinois at the 16-yard line.
I mentioned last week it's easy to sit up in the stands and criticize. We talked about the fact that Notre Dame might work on kickoff returns and pass defense, and it's obvious to me that Tarsegian has spent a lot of time on both of those departments this past week for the Irish.
Illinois out of the huddle with second down from their own 16-yard line. Bob Best goes back to pass, throws over the center. It's almost intercepted by Notre Dame. However, it's incomplete. That pass was in and out of the arms, or out of the hands, I should say, of Dave Martin. Pass was intended for John Wright. It was way over his head that time. Third down, still 10 yards to go. Stacy Gedman comes in at offensive tackle now for Illinois, replacing Steve Oman. It's 3rd and 10 from the Illini 16-yard line. Bob Bess back to pass again after a fake, throws down the middle. It's almost intercepted again. That pass was intended for Craig Timko, I'm sorry.
Craig Timko.
Was batted up in the air by Mike McGill and almost intercepted by number 7, Tommy Shane. 4th down situation. And in the kick for Illinois will come Charlie Breither. Back deep for Notre Dame. Again goes Tom Shane. 6 minutes, 30 seconds remaining here in the first half. Notre Dame in the lead, 20-0. Here comes the snap from center. It's a good one again. Breither gets the kick away. End over end, driving Shane back to his own 40. Here he comes back to the 42. Gets a good block. Gets away from one tackler, but he's going to be caught back there at his 37-yard line. Nice defensive play by Illinois' Jeff Kaiser.
Every game there are assistant coaches sitting up there in the press box. They have a telephone line down to the bench. And on the last Illinois punt, we could hear the coach screaming next door, tell them down there that there's only one man back to receive, quit kicking directly to him. Well, that time, the information was relayed, of course, and the kick Shane had to run for, and now the Irish have it 1st and 10.
Notre Dame 37.
Notre Dame 1st and 10 from their own 37. Fake draw play, and a pass out here is incomplete, intended for Gladjo. The fake that time went to Jeff Zimmerman on the draw play. Hanratty kept the ball, stepped back, threw what was intended to be a screen pass to Bob Gladjo. However, it was out of his reach and fell incomplete.
That great big word, if Gladjo had been able to haul that one in, the Illinois defense had all moved over to the right, and Gladjo was wide on the far side. He might have picked up great yardage on the play.
Notre Dame, 2nd and 10 from their own 37. Seymour and Blyer are to the left. The handoff goes to Gladjo over right tackle, and he's stopped after a gain perhaps of about a yard by Dave Tomasula. Fred Wolf also coming up from the secondary to lend a hand. Hanratty unofficially is 4 for 7 now. Ball is spotted at the 38, so we'll give Gladjo a yard on the play and call it 3rd and 9. 6:30 remaining here in the first half. Blyer and Seymour to the left with Seymour in the slot. Hanratty gets the ball, hands it to Blyer to the 40, 45, over the 50, and to the 46-yard line. Dick Tate making the stop, and if I said Blyer, that was Bob Gladjo, the ball carrier, and he went to the 46-yard line of Illinois.
As he fell on that tackle, Wolf was trying to tear the ball free of him, and the runner held on to that one tightly.
Out of the huddle comes Notre Dame with 1st and 10 at the 46-yard line of Illinois. Terry Hanratty, the quarterback. He gets the snap, hands it to Zimmerman right up the middle to the 40, puts his head down and fights his way to the 35-yard line of Illinois. Terry Miller and Rich Erickson make the stop for Illinois. It'll be another 1st down for the Irish. And today's football game is brought to you, as always, by D.F. Goodrich, the Straight Talk Tire people, and by State Farm Mutual, the biggest car insurance company there is. 1st and 10, Notre Dame from the 35-yard line of Illinois. There's the snap. Hanratty hands the ball to his halfback, who goes to the 30-yard line again. It's Bob Gladjo. Stop is made again by Tony Plavik. As Gladjo picks up another 5 yards for the Irish. 5 minutes remaining in the first half. Notre Dame in the lead, 20-0. They have the football, 2nd down and about 5. The ball just inside the 30-yard line. There's the snap. Rocky Blyer gets the football and fights his way forward to perhaps the 27-yard line before he's stopped by Terry Miller.
Blyer was the ball carrier. Terry Miller on the tackle.
Ball is spotted right at the 27. It'll be 3rd down and about 2.
Third quarter score, Syracuse 14, California 7. At the half, Cornell 0, Harvard 14.
Everyone in tight this time, including Seymour. There's a wide split, however, in the line. There's the handoff. It goes to Blyer. He's got the first down over the 25-yard line, and he's stopped by Dave Tomasula, along with Mike Hogan for Illinois. Another first down for Notre Dame. And unofficially, I have 11 first downs for the Irish, as that ball is spotted at the 24-yard line of Illinois. Out of the huddle comes Notre Dame. Wide to the left this time comes Blyer. Seymour is in the slot on the left side. So that leaves Zimmerman and Gladjo in the backfield. It's Gladjo with the football to the 23-yard line, and Mike Hogan puts the stop on him right there.
Gladjo carries the ball with Mike.
I noticed that Jim Seymour still wears a bandage on his last two fingers on his left hand. Jim, he evidently is still he had the finger dislocated, I recall, a couple of games ago. Did you talk with him in the dressing room? Is this thing, and he's more serious?
I had a chance to visit with him for just a moment, Frank, and he said the fingers are still bothering him, but judging by the way he caught that touchdown pass, they can't be bothering him too much.
That's for
It's
sure.
2nd and 9. Hanratty gets the ball, and he's going to be trapped back around the 30-yard line by Mike Hogan.
Gary Hanratty, 50 to pass, thrown for a loss.
It looked as though there was a mix-up in the backfield that time as Hanratty took the football. It looked like he wanted to hand it off. However, could not because there was no back near him. And then he was rushed hard by Mike Hogan and brought down just inside the 30-yard line of Illinois. 2 minutes, 45 seconds remaining in the first half. It's 3rd down, 15. Hanratty gets the ball. He goes back to pass. He's got plenty of time. Looks long. He throws. The receiver is on the ground, and there's going to be an interference call. Jim Seymour of Notre Dame was knocked down by Fred Wolf down at the 10-yard line. Not only that, let's see.
But Wolf was sitting on top of him down there, Jim. That's one way to make sure he doesn't catch the pass, but an interference call may come along. While they're making a decision, here's some other scores. First period, Minnesota 7, Michigan State nothing. At the half, Alabama 7, Tennessee 7. Third quarter, Penn 21, Bucknell 13. First quarter, Dayton 7, Temple nothing. First quarter, Wisconsin 7, Iowa 7.
Penalty coming up.
It's going to be called a holding penalty, apparently, against Illinois. There seems to be some confusion down on the field as referee Meyer talks it over first with Bess, the captain for Illinois, and now with Terry Hanratty and Rocky Blyer for Notre Dame. The step-off is going to be against Illinois. 15 yards.
Penalty of 15 yards.
Moving the ball down
First down on
to the 14-yard line, or just inside the 15. We'll call it where it'll be 1st and 10 Notre Dame. And now this word from B.F. Goodrich.
If you want to call the plays when you're behind the wheel, don't get your signals mixed. For winter driving, don't settle for less than B.F. Goodrich Trailmaker Silvertown Snow Tires. The tough Trailmaker tread holds tight on the road, keeps you going through ice and snow, keeps you in command. Trailmaker Silvertowns can, if you wish, be equipped with steel safety studs, and they can be installed in your car with no money down. See your straight-talking B.F. Goodrich store or dealer now about Trailmaker Silvertown Snow Tires, and stay in charge all winter.
It's 3rd down. It's 3rd down and about a half a yard to go for the first down. The ball just inside the Illinois 15-yard line. The handoff goes to Zimmerman. He's got the first down right up the middle. The tackle was made by Dave Tomasula and Terry Miller, the 2 linebackers for Illinois. Now the Irish are racing the clock now with about 2 minutes and 20 seconds remaining in the first half. Ball is spotted now at the 13-yard line of Illinois. 1st and 10, Notre Dame. Gladjo to the right this time. Jim Seymour is split to the left. Blyer and Zimmerman, the setbacks for Notre Dame. Terry Hanratty, the quarterback. There's the snap. It's Zimmerman right up the middle to the 9-yard line. Dave Tomasula again making a stop for Illinois. The clock is running. 1 minute and 45 seconds remaining in the first half. The ball just inside the 10-yard line. It's 2nd and 7.
On the 10-yard line.
Rocky Blyer goes to the left this time. Jim Seymour is split to the right. Terry Hanratty gets the ball. Hands it to Gladjo. Gladjo into the end zone for the touchdown. Bob Gladjo over right tackle, and I don't believe a man touched him as he traveled 10 yards for the touchdown for Notre Dame. With a minute minute and 25 seconds remaining in the first half. Notre Dame in the lead in this football game, 26-0. Joe Azzaro will be in to attempt the extra point for the Irish. There's the snap. The ball spotted, waist up in the air, and it's good. The score is Notre Dame 27, Illinois nothing. And now let's hear this from State Farm.
Hi, George Carlin here with another edition of What's Your Problem? Let's take our first phone call from a listener. Hello.
Hello, George. Hey, look, say, I want to ask you about them little State Farm stickers. You know, a little red and white emblem.
Yes, sir. The one that represents the world's best car insurance value. Big low-cost protection and service from the world's largest car insurer, State Farm Mutual.
Hey, I know what it means. I want to know how to remove one of them things.
Why do you want to remove your State Farm bumper sticker?
It's beginning to itch, that's why.
You're supposed to put it on your car, sir.
Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification.
Azzaro kicks off for Notre Dame. It's Blyther at the 10-yard line, back to the 15, 20, and dropped at the 27-yard line. Tom Quinn makes the stop for Notre Dame. Bob Best in at quarterback again for the Illini. That backfield consists of Bill Houston, Rich Johnson, and Carson Brooks. It's 1st and 10, Illinois from their own 26-yard line. Minute 20 seconds remaining in the first half. Houston is to the right this time. Best goes back to pass, looks over the center, fires. It's complete to right at the 39-yard line. Catches the ball and steps out of bounds immediately. Check that. They're going to say he caught the ball out of bounds. So that'll bring the ball back to the 26-yard line. From here, it looked as if he was able to catch that ball inbounds. However, referee Meyer says no, and it brings the ball back to the 26. Right in Houston, to the right this time. It's 2nd and 10 from the 26. It's the draw play to Rich Johnson, and he gets away from one tackler and goes to the 30 where he's stopped by Mike McGill. About a minute left to play here in the first half. Notre Dame, if you joined us late, has the lead over Illinois by the score of 27-0. 3rd down and 6 now for Illinois. The ball at their own 30-yard line as Wright comes wide to the right. Houston is in the slot on the same side. Bob Best gets the ball, rolls to his right. He's being chased by McCoy. He's to the 25 and knocked out of bounds at about the 31-yard line. Over there is Bob Kuchenberg, Mike McCoy, and John Pergine.
I know I, for one, wouldn't want to be caught up with by McCoy when he's chasing behind that big guy. If he collides with you with all that power, it could really be a mishmash. Scores at the half, Georgia 35, BMI nothing. At the half, Georgia Tech 10, Auburn 14.
Charlie Bryder will be in to kick again for Illinois, standing at his own 15-yard line. Tom Shane is the deep man for Notre Dame. There's the snap. Bryder gets his kick away. Good one this time, end over end with the wind, driving Shane back to his own 25, back to the 30, to the 35, and to the 40, and to the 42-yard line goes Tom Shane. Carson Brooks making the stop for Illinois.
With just about 20 seconds remaining in the half, we'd like to remind you that during halftime, today as every Saturday, ABC will bring you the latest local, national, and international news. Whatever might be developing this afternoon in Washington will be reported to you with on-the-scene broadcasts. Now back to Jim Morton.
Notre Dame has the football, 1st and 10 from their own 42-yard line. Out of the huddle, Hanratty's the quarterback. He goes back to pass, rolls a little to his left, looks far down the right side now, throws a low pass. It's incomplete at the 45-yard line of Illinois. The pass was intended for Jim Seymour. Defending for Illinois was Fred Wolf.
Terry Hanratty intended his pass for Jim Seymour.
2nd down, still 10 yards to go for Notre Dame from their own 42. Approximately 20 seconds remaining here in the first half. Out of the huddle come the Irish now. Blyer and Seymour are to the left, with Seymour in the slot to that side. Here's the draw play this time to Gladjo, and he fights his way over the 45 to the 50 and into Illinois territory, where he's dropped by Jeff Trigger. He'll be very close to the first down, as the ball is spotted now at the 48-yard line of Illinois, and we have an official timeout for a measurement. Terry Hanratty now moves over to the far sideline to confer with head coach Ara Parsegian. And it's a 1st down for Notre Dame. They're 12th unofficially here in the first half.
While we have the moment, here are some more scores. At the half, Princeton 21, Colgate nothing. At the half, Dayton 14, Temple 6. Halftime score, Buffalo 12, Boston College 6. Here at Champaign-Urbana in Memorial Stadium, it is Notre Dame 27 and Illinois nothing with just about 10 seconds remaining in the first half. We read that clock correctly, and I think that we finally figured that one out. It seems to be our year for clocks, doesn't it, Jim? Last Saturday, both of them went out at South Bend, and not only that, but this is a beautiful stadium here at Champaign-Urbana, but we must be about 15 stories above that football field.
Right you are, Frank. Notre Dame now out of the huddle now with 1st and 10 from the 48-yard line of Illinois. Terry Hanratty gets the ball. He's back to pass. He's got plenty of time. Now he's being rushed. Finally throws deep for Seymour. Seymour! 48 yards. Terry Hanratty to Jim Seymour.
Well, that looked like the combination that we got used to watching last fall. When these two fellas as sophomores were sensational, the passing arm of Terry Hanratty, the receiving hands of Jim Seymour, and now Notre Dame leads 33-0.
Jim Seymour carrying in. One pass from Hanratty.
And again, in to attempt the extra point will be Joe Azzaro. Ball is spotted, it's up in the air, and it's no good this time, off to the right. So there's about 3 seconds showing on that scoreboard clock remaining in the first half. Notre Dame has the lead, 33-0.
More scores keep coming into us, and as they do, we'll pass them along to you. First quarter, Oklahoma State 13, Kansas nothing. First quarter, Holy Cross nothing, Boston University 3. At the half, Northwestern on homecoming day against Ohio State, 0-0. Make a correction on that Boston College score. Buffalo 19, Boston College 6. That's at the half. Halftime score, Holy Cross 7, Boston University 3. And at the quarter, Nebraska 7, Colorado 0.
Azzaro kicking off for Notre Dame. It's taken at the 18-yard line by Bill Houston. Back to the 20, 22, to the 30, and falls at the 33 or 34-yard line. And there's the end of the first half with the scoreboard reading Notre Dame 33, Illinois 0. Stay with us. We'll also have the latest news from ABC Radio. And now this word from V.F. Goodrich.
If you were calling the plays today, you'd be at quite a disadvantage. You just can't read the defense from where you sit now. And knowing what's stacked up against you is important. One thing, though, that you can plan against right where you are now is the weather. It's going to snow before long. You can get your car prepared with a set of V.F. Goodrich Trailmaker Silvertown snow tires. VFG Trailmakers give your car a real power play. The Husky wide tread fights through snow with full-back power. The deep biting edges let you take off at flanker speed. The 4-ply nylon construction keeps you going for more safe miles. VFG Trailmaker snow tires can be yours for no money down. Just open a VFG Choice Charge account at your VF Goodrich dealer. He'll install your Trailmakers free and install steel safety studs for a small extra charge if you need extra traction. So call the plays against winter now at your VF Goodrich store or dealer.
It's halftime here at Champaign-Urbana, Illinois. This is Frank Sweeney during the halftime. And while the Illinois band is marching on the field to the entertainment of the crowd, we have a great opportunity to have a few words from Gene Vance, the athletic director here at Illinois. And Gene, when you took the job in April, it must have seemed like a monumental thing ahead of you, didn't it?
Well, it was, Frank, and we've got a long way to come back, but I'm confident with the help of everybody I've had, I'm sure we will. Of course, right now it's a little discouraging to look at that scoreboard and see it 33-0, but I tell you, Era has really got this ball club up after last week, and it's just a fine ball club. We're unfortunate, Frank, right now we just don't have the beef to go against Notre Dame. I've been watching that line play, and you look at the weights, and certainly it's a tribute to Era because after the tough ball game they had last week against USC and to come back, and he's got these kids ready.
He sure has out there. At least it would seem so from that 33-0 score. Well, Gene, you walked into a difficult situation down here at Illinois, and you certainly seem to be making great strides forward. And I notice when a fellow's in a situation like that, it's nice to have longtime friends around. And you and head coach Jim Valek and some of his assistants have been old buddies for a long while.
Yeah, Jim and I coached Frank up at LaSalle through High School in Northern Illinois back in the 50s. And, of course, Jim has an excellent background, and his staff. And as I say, we've got to go out and get us some players. And I just hope that these kids don't get too demoralized because it's tough right now, but we'll come back.
Good, and I'd like to compliment you, Gene, on the fine facilities that are almost at completion here. This is a beautiful press box. This is ideal.
Well, Frank, we're real pleased with it, and certainly with the new track here in the stadium, we've made some fine improvements. We still have many to go because we appreciate the support we get from our fans, just as Notre Dame, and we want to have them have the fine comfort that we can have here in the stadium.
Well, you have to crawl before you can walk, and Gene, we're very proud of the work that you are doing at Illinois. We know that in the future there'll be tremendous things coming from you.
Well, Frank, I thank you for those kind words, and certainly we're pleased to have you all here today, and I wish we could change the score a little bit.
Thanks so much. We've been talking with Gene Vance, the athletic director here at the University of Illinois. We'll have more halftime activities after this important word from State Farm Mutual.
Hi, George Carlin here in Teaneck, New Jersey, where a dirty gray car insured by an ordinary insurance company has just filed into a cleaner, whiter, and brighter car insured by State Farm Mutual. Here with me is an average housewife, certainly no better than average. Could I possibly have your name, ma'am?
Well, it would be a tremendous coincidence.
Coincidence?
Yeah, for you to have my name.
No, I mean, could you tell us your name?
Congolia Breckenridge.
That would have been a coincidence. Now, Mrs. Breckenridge, there are two cars out there on the intersection, one insured by an ordinary insurance company, the other insured by State Farm, the company that got to be the world's largest by providing big protection and fast claim service at low rates. Which of the two seems to be getting the fastest claim service?
Oh, I'd say the one insured by State Farm is definitely cleaner and whiter and getting the fastest claim service. Do I win?
Well, Mrs. Breckenridge, we're going to make it possible for you and your husband to visit an office of State Farm Mutual. What do you think of that?
Did you say I won or lost?
During halftime, we've been talking with Gene Vance, the athletic director at the University of Illinois, and on behalf of State Farm Mutual, presented him with one of their fine 1967 road atlases, an excellent way to tour this country. While the band is entertaining in the background, we'll review the scoring for you. Notre Dame kicked off and contained Illinois, and Illinois on the punt try fumbled the ball. Notre Dame recovered but could not penetrate for the touchdown, settling for a 21-yard field goal from the toe of Joe Azzaro with 13 minutes remaining in the quarter. With 5:45 left in the first quarter, it was Azzaro again on a field goal, this time for 36 yards, making it Notre Dame 6-0. The next Irish scoring was by Zimmerman on a 7-yard run, making it 12-0. Azzaro's PAT made it 13-0. In the second quarter, an 18-yard pass from Hanratty to Seymour put the Irish in the lead 19-0. The point after was good, and it was Notre Dame 20 and Illinois nothing. Next scoring for Notre Dame was by Gladio on a 14-yard run, 26-0. Then Azzaro's point after try was successful, making it 27-0. And with 10 seconds to go on a picture-like storybook pass of 48 yards from Terry Hanratty to Jim Seymour, Notre Dame took that halftime lead of 33-0. Azzaro's try for the point after was no good, and that's the way the halftime remains. Notre Dame 33 and Illinois nothing. This is Frank Sweeney, along with Jim Morse, reminding you that the first half of today's game was brought to you by B.F. Goodrich, the Straight Talk Tire people, and by State Farm Mutual, the biggest car insurance company there is. Here at Memorial Stadium, the halftime score is Notre Dame 33, Illinois nothing. This is the ABC Radio Network.
The Plymouth Beauty and Beat goes on at Glenn's Motor Company, 1925, Ingersoll.
Plymouth Beauty is not a fad, you know. Beauty's got what you've been looking for. It delivers looks and so much more. And the beat goes on. Yes, the beat goes on.
So get with the beat at Glenn's Motor Company, 1925, Ingersoll.
From ABC News, Network Radio's largest news organization, Plymouth brings you Halftime Report with Bill Butel. Last year, over 250,000 owners of other low-priced cars were won over. Maybe this is the year Plymouth will win you over. And the beat goes on. And now with the headlines, here is ABC correspondent Bill Butel.
Anti-war demonstrations in this country and abroad, trouble near the Suez Canal, and Pope Paul is ill again.
We'll have the details on these and other stories after this message from Plymouth.
Hello, this is Petula Clark for Plymouth 68. And the beat goes on. Yes, the beat goes on.
Last year, over 250,000 owners of other low-price cars were won over to Plymouth. It started a movement, a momentum, a beat. And the beat goes on at your Plymouth dealers.
Styles have come and surely styles will go. But Plymouth Beauty is not a fad, you know.
Plymouth Beauty does go on and on, as does your Plymouth dealer's great deals. See him now. He'll show you how last year's success cars are even more beautiful for 68.
And the beat goes on. Yes, the beat goes on. The Plymouth.
From GTX to Satellite to Roadrunner, see the whole new line of mid-size cars from Plymouth. And see all the new Plymouths at your Plymouth dealers now. Here once again is Bill Butel.
Washington, Paris, West Berlin, Tokyo, Amsterdam. Cities with one thing in common today. These cities are mirrors of dissent. Dissent against American policy in Vietnam. The dissent is active in these cities, and in Hamburg and Göttingen in West Germany, and in Sweden and in Madrid, too. Many people in these cities saying, Yankee, go home, and in many different languages. In Washington, as many as 37,000 are there, and headed now for the Pentagon. What's it like at the Pentagon? We switch to ABC's Don Baker at the Pentagon.
The Peace March from the Lincoln Memorial to the Pentagon has resumed after a long delay on a bridge across the Potomac River. Marchers coming in now run the gamut of political opinion, all against the war, however. The early arrivals at the Lincoln Memorial were all younger people, people who camped out overnight. Later on, they were middle-aged business people, professors, religious people, people against the war. They listened to speeches, they heard several plays about the war, depicting President Johnson as a monster who invaded South Vietnam. Now they're streaming down across the bridge to the Pentagon, where they'll also find a group of American Nazi Party members waiting. They formed a big sign saying, "Bomb Hanoi." The leader of the American Nazi Party, Matt Cale, just told me there'll be no trouble unless his men are attacked. If they are, they will defend themselves. This is Don Baker, ABC News at the Pentagon.
Before that march started for the Pentagon, the anti-war demonstrators paused at the Lincoln Memorial and heard from Lincoln Lynch. He's a leader of CORE, and Lincoln Lynch issued this call.
We call upon our black brothers fighting in Vietnam to lay down their arms by the thousands, lay down their arms by the tens of thousands. Come on back home. Come on back home. Our fight is not in the jungles of Vietnam, but in the streets of Washington. Our fight is not in the air over Saigon, but in the cotton fields of Mississippi.
Lincoln Lynch of CORE. In Paris, many Frenchmen shouting, "Vive le Viet Cong!" ABC's Barry Dunsmore reports from Paris.
A few dozen North Vietnamese carrying the North Vietnamese flag and Viet Cong flags have joined the throng. So have a group of American peaceniks, some of the hippie variety, with the uniform of long hair, dirty feet, and flowers painted on their faces. However, the chants are the same. U.S. assassins, peace in Vietnam, which they're shouting with all the enthusiasm of a college crowd at a football game. Perhaps, however, with much less effect. This is Barry Dunsmore, ABC, at an anti-American demonstration in Paris.
And in West Berlin, ABC's Bill Winchester.
Police estimate that about 5,000 persons have assembled here at Wittenbergplatz in West Berlin. They're protesting against the war in Vietnam, and it's easily the biggest demonstration against U.S. involvement in Vietnam ever staged in this city. There are, of course, hundreds of placards, many denouncing President Johnson, many praising Ho Chi Minh. There are dozens of large pictures of Che Guevara. The inscription reads, "His spirit lives on." All this just about 1/2 mile from the wall dividing West from East Berlin. This is Bill Winchester, ABC News, West Berlin.
That's what it was like in Washington, Paris, and West Berlin. But here in New York, down at the Battery, there was the sound of a different demonstration. Americans supporting American boys in Vietnam. Americans like John Doe from your block. Americans like Henry Wells of Brewster, New York. Henry Wells is 91. He served in the Spanish-American War. On every Memorial Day, Henry Wells leads the parade up in Brewster, New York, and he's proud of it. And when ABC's Al Adel asked him if demonstrations in support of U.S. fighting men were necessary, Henry Wells said this.
I feel it's very necessary to support our boys. They're far away, and they will hear about such occasions as this, and it will make them feel that they are very much appreciated in the work they are doing to defend liberty.
Henry Wells of Brewster, New York. And elsewhere, you may see cars with their lights on in daylight. And tonight, you may see lights left on in houses all night. That's still another sign of support for U.S. fighting men in Vietnam. In South Vietnam, near Quang Tri, the North Vietnamese and the Viet Cong had apparently been digging foxholes in a Buddhist cemetery. South Vietnamese troops found out about the desecration, filled the air with screams and curses as they charged into the cemetery. The South Vietnamese claim they killed 225 Viet Cong in that battle. 2 Navy pilots over North Vietnamese waters have sunk 4 North Vietnamese torpedo boats. A boat that might end the steel strike. I'll have that story in 30 seconds. But first, checking datelines, Detroit, Ford apparently will not be back in production till at least the middle of next week. Negotiators for Ford and the UAW met in Detroit again today. They're close, but there are still some loose ends to tie up before that new contract is completed. London, leaders of the railroad unions have called off their strike. It was beginning to cut into food supplies in wide areas of Britain. In Los Angeles, calm but tense in the south-central section of the city. Last night, fire bombings and fights between police and Negroes there. Cairo says Egyptian gunboats found an Israeli warship and sank it near the northern entrance to the Suez Canal. No further details available yet, but the news of the sinking came just after President Nasser and Prime Minister Gandhi of India jointly demanded that Israel withdraw from the Arab territory it conquered last June. And now that story about a vote to end a strike. In Cleveland, striking steel truckers reportedly have approved the latest proposed contract with the steel companies. But in Somerset, Pennsylvania, it's been rejected. The strike leaders of the truckers have not endorsed the proposal. All the votes should be in by Monday.
You've been listening to a Halftime Report with Bill Butel, originating from the ABC Radio Newsroom in New York.
Hard-hitting commentary on the world of news. Weeknights on the ABC Radio Network. The Plymouth Beauty and Beat goes on at Glenn's Motor Company, 1925, Ingersoll.
Plymouth Beauty is not a fad, you know. Beauty's got what you've been looking for. It delivers looks and so much more. And the beat goes on. Yes, the beat goes on.
So get with the beat at Glenn's Motor Company, 1925, Ingersoll.
Champaign, Illinois, Memorial Stadium. This is Frank Sweeney, along with Jim Morris. Notre Dame leading Illinois by a score of 33-0. The Irish have never lost in this series of games between these two universities. They have won 9 and tied 1, and with that halftime score of 33-0, it looks like they will maintain that position. In statistics, you can see that it is all Notre Dame in the first half. In first downs, the Irish lead 15-2. In yards rushing, Notre Dame 135 to Illinois 12. In passing yardage, Notre Dame 96, Illinois 26. Passes completed, 3 out of 14 for Illinois, 6 out of 11 for Notre Dame. Each team has intercepted one other pass. And in yards penalized, Illinois 15 and Notre Dame 5. We'll have the second half kickoff in just a moment.
McClure Realty on Highway 69 in Ankeny says, make your next move to Ankeny and start living. And when you make that move, be sure and see the fine selection of homes offered by McClure Realty. Check with them about trading your old home in on a new one. McClure Realty, Highway 69 in Ankeny. You like McClure's prompt, courteous service. Their telephone number 964-4251. The Ankeny Chamber of Commerce is proud of their rapidly growing community and would welcome you as part of it. They point with pride to Ankeny's fine churches, outstanding school system, progressive merchants, and friendly citizens. The Ankeny Chamber of Commerce says, live the good life, live it in Ankeny. Fulton Carpet Villa, 102 East 3rd in Ankeny, has been in Central Iowa for 30 years with the finest in floor coverings and installation. Fulton's is truly your one-stop floor covering center. Free estimates and appointments, call or see Jerry Fulton or Dick Luke at Fulton's Carpet Villa, 102 East 3rd in Ankeny, 964-4075. Fulton Carpet Villa, Ankeny.
Dame has returned to the field. We're awaiting the arrival of the Illini. At a halftime score, Oregon State 10, Purdue 7. First half score, Oklahoma 20, Kansas State, nothing. First quarter, Cincinnati 6, Tulsa 14. Third quarter score, Dartmouth 34, Brown 6. Third quarter score, Army 14, Rutgers 3. Third quarter score, North Carolina 7, Maryland nothing. Michigan and Indiana are in the third quarter, and it is Indiana 20, Michigan 14. Third quarter, Miami of Florida 45, Pittsburgh nothing. Third quarter score, Buffalo 19, Boston College 6. Third quarter, Penn State 21, West Virginia 7. And a final, Yale 21, Columbia 7. Here at Memorial Stadium on Zupke Field, named for one of the finest coaches in this country and the greatest of all Illinois coaches, Bob Zupke, Notre Dame leads the Fighting Illini by a 33-0 score. This kickoff will be just moments away, and while we await the second half kickoff, let's pause now for station identification. Illinois will kick off from the north end of the field. They will be moving from our left to our right. Notre Dame will receive at the south end of the field. Here at Champaign-Urbana, it's a double-deck stadium on both sides of the field with a horseshoe closed end at the south and bleachers to the north of the field. Fighting Irish out there at their own 40-yard line, waiting this kick by Illinois. Notre Dame leading 33-0, figuring pretty much as the odds makers had this win. Notre Dame having its ups and downs this year, trying to fight back for national prestige. The Irish take up their positions. Illinois ready to kick off, and ready to bring you every play is Jim Morris.
Thank you, Frank Sweeney. Dan McKissick will kick off for Illinois. Back deep for Notre Dame are Blyer, Haley, and Gladjo. There's the whistle, there's the kick. End over end, and it will be Blyer at the 12, back to the 15, 20, right up the middle of the 25, 30, 35, 40, and to the 48-yard line. Rocky Blyer, finally brought down by Jerry Pillett. And Notre Dame has the ball, first and 10, at their own 48-yard line as Rocky Blyer almost broke free with that kickoff. In the first half, Bob Gladjo had 60 yards rushing and 11 carries. Zimmerman had 50 and 14 carries. Irish out of the huddle, first and 10 from their own 48. Zimmerman right up the middle to the 46-yard line. Check that, over the 50-yard line to the 49-yard line of Illinois. Play started at the 48 of Notre Dame and is now at the 49 of Illinois. Mike McDonald and Bill Nowak make the stop for Illinois. Be second down and 7. Terry Hanratty gets the ball. He hands it to Gladjo over the right side, and he's stopped at the line of scrimmage. Bill Nowak making the tackle again for Illinois. Ball still at the 49-yard line of Illinois. In that backfield for Notre Dame now, we have Rocky Blyer, Jeff Zimmerman, and Bob Gladjo. Terry Hanratty is the quarterback. Gladjo and Seymour go to the right this time. I formation in the backfield, Zimmerman and Blyer. There's the snap. Back to pass goes Hanratty. He looks down the middle. He throws. It's tipped up in the air and intercepted at the 25-yard line by Ron Best. Back to the 30, 35, back to the 40. He's got some running room to the 50. Down to the Notre Dame 40, to the 30, to the 20. He may go all the way. Touchdown! The ball at the 25-yard line, went 75 yards for a touchdown for the Illini.
Tremendous run by Best. As he intercepted that ball, he was moving toward the east, cut back this way, let his blockers pick him up, and he did the rest.
Dan McKissick will attempt the extra point. Dean Volkman will hold. There's the snap. Ball is spotted. It's placed. It's good. There's timeout on the field with the score. Notre Dame 33 and Illinois 7.
The Breeze House in Ankeny on Highway 69 invites you to Come and enjoy family style or buffet. The Breeze House opens daily 4:30, Sunday 11 to 9 p.m. Famous Breeze House noon buffet 11 till 2. Enjoy cocktails in the Cherrywood Lounge. The Breeze House, Ankeny, Highway 69. Ankeny Chamber of Commerce believes there are several things essential for a well-rounded community: sound city government, sound law enforcement, good schools, and last but not least, good churches. Ankeny has 9 churches to serve its citizens. So a person moving to Ankeny may find a spiritual home in his progressive, friendly city. Ankeny State Bank is a full-service bank in business to serve you. At Ankeny State Bank, you can bank in confidence with confidence. They offer you auto or real estate loans, checking and saving accounts, drive-in banking and Saturday banking, and their time certificates pay 5% interest. Shouldn't you bank? Be the Ankeny State Bank, the full-service bank, a member of FDIC.
Haley at the 6-yard line, and he returned all the way to the Notre Dame 49-yard line before he was dropped by Rich Erickson. So we have 1st and 10 Notre Dame from their own 49. Out of the huddle they come. Gladjo and Seymour go to the right. The setbacks will be Zimmerman and Blyer. Terry Hanratty's the quarterback. There's the snap. The handoff goes to Blyer around right end. Goes wide now. Cuts back in and gets to the 45-yard line of Illinois before he's dumped by Fred Wolf.
Gladjo gave him a fine block that time as Gladjo came in from the outside, cutting down Jeff Trigger, a linebacker, giving the runner a little more room with that ball. 4 scores. Third quarter, Maine nothing, Connecticut 14. Third quarter, Georgia Tech 10, Auburn 14.
A gain of 6 on the play. 2nd and 4 at the 45-yard line of Illinois. Seymour again to the left. It's the draw play this time to Gladjo. He gets exactly nowhere. He's brought down by Mike McDonough. Defensively now for Illinois, we have Jeff Trigger, Jim Whiteside, Mike McDonough, Bill Nowak, Mike Hogan, and Dick Tate. No gain on the play, on the draw play to Gladjo. It's 3rd down and 4. The ball is still at the 45-yard line of Illinois. This time, Rocky Blyer comes to the left. Jim Seymour is in the slot to the same side. 3rd and 4. Back to pass goes Hanratty. Throws out here on the swing pass to Gladjo at the 50s, to the 45, to the 40, and down at the 36-yard line of Illinois by Rich Erickson again.
Fine move by Seymour that time as he came back from downfield and cut down Bill Janusek, a linebacker, giving additional yardage to the Irish. Notre Dame is playing a much better team game today than we've seen them play in this 1967 season.
Frank Crinitti comes in at the halfback post for Notre Dame, replacing Gladjo. They have 1st and 10 at the 36-yard line of Illinois. The handoff goes to Blyer, right up the center. He's to the 30, bangs head on into a tackler, and moves to the 26-yard line, where he's brought down by Ronnie Bess, the man who a few moments ago went 75 yards for a touchdown on an interception for Illinois. Notre Dame had 15 first downs in the first half to 2 for Illinois, and we'll be measuring now for their second first down in the second half.
I don't know if you had a chance to mention it or not, Jim, but Ronnie Bess is from Bloomington, Illinois. His dad is the high school coach over there. He coached 2 of his sons, and that happened to be my hometown. I kind of feel a little proud of that youngster myself.
2 of them down there, actually. Ronnie and Bob Bess, brothers, a senior and a sophomore, Frank. It's 2nd down and about a half a yard to go. The ball at 26.5-yard line of Illinois. There's the snap. Handoff right up the center to the 25-yard line. It's a 1st down for Notre Dame. Dave Tomasula made this that time on the Notre Dame ball carrier, who was Captain Rocky Blyer.
Third period score, Duke 7, Clemson 7. At the half, Iowa State 7, Missouri 9. And a final, California 14, Syracuse 20.
The ball is at the 25-yard line of Illinois. It's 1st down, 10 Notre Dame. Terry Hanratty gets the ball again, hands this time to Jeff Zimmerman, who is dumped for about a yard loss by Jim Whiteside, the left defensive tackle for Illinois, who submarined that time and met Zimmerman before he could get to the line of scrimmage. Terry Miller is out of the ball game now at the left linebacker spot. He's replaced by Bill Janusek. A loss of a yard on that last play. It's 2nd and 11 The ball at the 26-yard line now of Illinois. And Ratty fakes to his back, goes back to pass, throws. It's intercepted again by Bess at the 20, to the 25, 30, 40, 50, and down to the Notre Dame 40. He's being chased by Zimmerman at the 20, 10, and he's brought down at the 7-yard line of Notre Dame. What a game. Ronnie Bess has played from your hometown.
Oh, that fella, he's come up with the most straggling plays of the afternoon. 2 interceptions for long, long yardage. Picked that within about the 20, I believe, and moved all the way down to the Notre Dame 5-yard line. There's a player injured on that one. As Illinois out of their huddle gets up to the line of scrimmage, they want to go, but the officials aren't in position. And now they will be ready to go. Ron Bess electrifying this crowd with his second long interception.
It's first down, goal to go at the 6. Bob Bess pitches back this time to Houston. He's being chased at the 10, brought down at the 8-yard line by Tom Shane. Bess in at quarterback. The brother of Ron Bess, who just picked off his second interception of the afternoon and almost returned it for his second touchdown of the afternoon.
Well, his first interception was good for 75 yards. The second interception for 76 yards.
Len Wieslow in at tight end replacing Craig Timko. It's second down and 7 as Bess gets the ball, goes back to pass, rolls to his left this time, being chased by Lauk. He is hit on the far side of the field and fights his way forward to the 4-yard line. Lauk almost had him over there, however, could not quite get him. And he was ultimately brought down by Bob Olson.
Illinois trailing 33-7, sure showing a lot of grit out there right now. And here's some important information we'd like to pass along. Notre Dame's opponent next Saturday afternoon will be Michigan State, who have their troubles this afternoon against Minnesota. At the half, Minnesota leads Michigan State 14-0.
The ball is at the 3-yard line now. It's third, goal to go from the 3. Back to pass goes Bess. He throws now. It's over the head of the intended receiver, Craig Timko. Incomplete.
Pass was intended for Craig Timko.
Into the ball game now. Again at tight end comes Len Wieslow replacing Craig Timko, and to whom the pass was intended.
Bob Bess was shaken up on that play. Bob Kuchenberg came barreling into him, and Bob was very slow in getting up off that ground.
It's fourth down, goal to go at the 3-yard line of Notre Dame. There's the snap. Bess goes back to pass. There's a penalty marker as Bess goes down at the 10-yard line. There's a penalty marker on the play. We'll wait to give you the official call. Referee Meyer talking to both the Notre Dame captain, Dave Martin, and to the Illinois captain. It's going to be a penalty against Notre Dame. Half the distance to the goal against Notre Dame for offside. And Dean Volkman comes in at quarterback now for the Illini, replacing Bob Bess, who was shaken up on the last play. So we have fourth down, goal to go, the ball at the 1.5-yard line of Notre Dame. Bill Houston splits to the left this time. Volkman's the quarterback, on the play to the right, pitch back this time, and there's no touchdown. As Rich Johnson is brought down by Jim Smithberger and Tom Shane for Notre Dame. And the Irish hold at the Notre Dame 2-yard line.
Well, you can't take it away from Ron Bess, though. As the second half begun, Notre Dame was leading 33-0. Bess took a pass interception for 75 yards for a touchdown, and he returned another interception to the Notre Dame 5-yard line, but the defense of the Irish has been stubborn, and the Irish take over at their 2.
Out of the huddle comes Notre Dame now with Gladue and Seymour to the right this time. First and 10 from their own 2-yard line. The handoff goes to Blyer over left tackle, and he's out to approximately the 5 before he's brought down by Dave Tomasula and Mike Hogan. Notre Dame has 17 first downs in this football game to 2 for Illinois. Irish out of the huddle again. The ball is at their 5-yard line. It's second down and 7. 3 men in the backfield this time. And the handoff goes to Gladjo, and he's out to the 10-yard line as he moves over left guard, and he's dropped by Dave Tomasula. He'll be short of the first down by perhaps a yard or two. Ball is just outside the 10-yard line. It'll be third down and approximately 2 yards to go for the first down. If you joined us late, Notre Dame has the lead, 33-7. Irish out of the huddle now. There's the snap. The handoff goes to Rocky Blyer right over the center. He's out over the 15 to the 19-yard line. It's another first down for Notre Dame as Ron Bess and Rich Erickson make the stop for Illinois. Gladjo out of the ball game now. I'll check that. He stays in the ball game, but Frank Criniti comes in also, and Rocky Blyer is out. So the setbacks this time will be Frank Criniti and Jeff Zimmerman. The ball is at the 19-yard of Notre Dame, first and 10. And it's Zimmerman right up the center over the 25 to the 26-yard line, and Tomasula again makes the stop for Illinois.
More scores in the third quarter. Miami of Ohio, 14. Ohio University, 8. A final, Penn State, 21. West Virginia, 14. First quarter score, Mississippi, 14. Southern Mississippi, 7. A final, Maine, nothing. Connecticut, 21.
The ball is at the Notre Dame 26. It's second down and 3. Terry Hanratty calls the signals, hands off to Zimmerman again, right up the center. He's to the 30-yard line. It's another first down for the Irish, their fourth of the second half. Bill Janicek made the tackle for Illinois. Zimmerman, going into this football game, had carried 26 times, good for 106 yards and 3 touchdowns, and in the first half, officially, carried 14 times, good for 50. The ball is at the Notre Dame 30. It's first down and 10. Seymour split to the left this time. Terry Hanratty hands the ball again to Zimmerman over left tackle. He's out to perhaps the 32-yard line, where he's stopped by Mike Hogan and again Dave Tomasula.
Notre Dame obviously has found a weakness on the right side of that Illinois defensive line. They've been going for the same hole 9 times out of 10, but that time the hole closed up on them. The Irish have it. It's second down.
The ball is just outside the 31-yard line. We'll call it second down and 9. Seymour to the right. Terry Hanratty gets the ball. It's the draw play this time to Criniti, and he's out to the 35 and falls forward to the 36-yard line. Again, it's Dave Tomasula in on the tackle, along with co-captain Ron Bess.
Creeping here for a few more scores. A final, North Carolina 14, Maryland nothing. In the third quarter, Princeton 28, Colgate nothing. In the third quarter, Georgia 49, VMI 6. Here at Champaign, it is Notre Dame 33, Illinois 7.
Rocky Blyer in, Frank Criniti out. It's third down and 4. The ball at the 36 of Notre Dame. Terry Hanratty in there. He gets the ball, hands it to Rocky Blyer over right tackle. He does not get the first down. He's to perhaps the 37-yard line, where Bill Janicek makes the stop again for Illinois. He's in that ball game, replacing Terry Miller, the left side linebacker. Criniti in, Terry Hanratty goes out now. It'll be a fourth down situation, 4th and 3 from the 37. Rich Erickson is the single safety man back for Illinois. And that looks like Rocky Blyer back to do the punting for Notre Dame. That it is. He gets his kick away, high and wobbly. Takes a Illinois bounce at the 40-yard line as is picked off by Jim Weingartner and downed at the 40-yard line of Illinois. So the Illini have a little fire here in the second half. They trailed as the second half opened, 33-0. However, an interception by Ron Bess was brought back for a touchdown. He picked off a second and brought it all the way down to the 5. Illinois' ball, first and 10 from their own 40. Volkman, the quarterback, gets the ball back to pass, completes it to Johnny Wright at the 46-yard line of Notre Dame.
Great move by Wright that time. As he went for the ball, he was bumped in the effort to deflect the ball away from him, and he was able to hang on to it and pick up the first down for Illinois at the Notre Dame 46-yard line.
Another first down now. They're first of the second half. It's first and 10 at 46 of Notre Dame as a pitchback this time goes back to Houston. He fumbles it, and he's down at the 49-yard line, and there's a penalty marker on the play. Dean Volkman is back in at quarterback for the Illini, replacing Bob Bess, who is out with what we believe is a knee injury.
Preliminary indication on that infraction, Jim, was clipping. Referee Ramey Myers talking over with Notre Dame now. We'll see whether that is the call. Clock shows just about 3 minutes remaining in the third quarter. Illinois leading, check that one. Notre Dame leading 33-7 over the Illini.
15 yards against Illinois for clipping. Moves the ball back to the 36-yard line of Illinois as Len Wieslow comes in at tight end, replacing Craig Timko. Ball at the 36. It'll be first down and about 28 yards to go for Illinois. Houston to the left, Wright to the right. Volkman gets the ball, swings to his left this time. He's being chased, and he's brought down by Bob Jokish, right at the 35-yard line of Illinois. Ed Villeman is in at the left linebacker spot now for Notre Dame. Check that. He's in at left defensive end now, replacing Bob Kuchenberg. It's second down and 29 as Volkman gets the ball, rolls to his right, throws down the center, and it is intercepted at the 40-yard line by Shane. Back to the 50, down to the 40, and to the 30, and out of bounds at the 28-yard line of Illinois. Bruce Erb, the center, made the stop on Tommy Shane, who returned that ball about 32 yards to the 28-yard line of Illinois.
Shane might have gone all the way, but he kept running out of room as his blockers were preceding him down the side over there, much as the last drop of toothpaste coming out of the tube. There was nowhere to go but out of bounds. So the Irish have it.
Notre Dame with the ball at the 28-yard line of Illinois. Terry Hanratty is still the quarterback. The pitchback goes to Gladjo. He's to the 25, the 20, to the 15, 10, and out of bounds somewhere around the 5-yard line. And he's knocked down over there by Rich Erickson. Gladjo unofficially has somewhere just over 100 yards as he takes that ball on a 21-yard gain. The ball is spotted at the 6-yard line. Rich Erickson is out of the ball game now, replaced by Jerry Schmidt. It's Notre Dame's ball, first and 10 from the 6-yard line of Illinois. Tight backfield this time. First and goal from the 6. The handoff goes on the left side to Crenity, who is in at halfback now. He's stopped after a gain of perhaps a half a yard by Jerry Schmidt. That ball is between the 5 and 6-yard line. 2 minutes remaining in the third period, I should say. Notre Dame in the lead, 33-7. Crenity out of the ball game now. Rocky Blyer back in. Rich Erickson goes in now defensively for Illinois, replacing Jerry Schmidt.
Decades of Dan State stories. This year's Dan State Review.
There's a timeout on the field with the score. Notre Dame 33 and Illinois 7.
Ankeny Ben Franklin specials for 3 days only, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. Big D interior latex paint. Choice of 7 colors plus white and ceiling white. Dries in minutes, easy to apply. Buy 1 gallon at regular price, $3.39. Get a second gallon for only 1 cent. Ankeny Ben Franklin, Ankeny Plaza. Ankeny Chamber of Commerce invites business leaders who may be looking for a suitable site to build a new plant to inspect Ankeny's 240-acre industrial park, which has water, sewer, and electrical facilities already installed. For further information on industrial sites, contact Harold Bush, Ankeny City Hall. Ankeny Walgreen Drug Agency, Ankeny Plaza, 1 cent sales specials. Alkaniferin nasal spray, regularly $1 a quarter each, now 2 bottles, $1.26. Now's the time to save on Christmas cards by American Greeting. Regularly up to $3.75 a box, now 3 boxes for the price of 1 at Ankeny Walgreen Drug, Ankeny Plaza.
Nearing the closing moments of the third quarter here at Champaign, where it is Notre Dame 33 and Illinois 7. But the Irish have that ball at the Illinois 6-yard line, a very definite threat to do some more scoring in this ball game. Everything has been going Notre Dame's way thus far this afternoon. In the third quarter, Virginia Tech 28, Richmond 14. Third quarter, Cornell 6, Harvard 14. A final, Miami of Florida 58 and Pittsburgh nothing. Back to the action and Jim.
Second down, goal to go. The ball just outside the Illinois 5-yard line. Full house backfield this time. Henready keeps the ball himself, moves around the right side. He's inside the 5 to perhaps the 4-yard line. But there he runs into 5 or 6 boys from Illinois, including Tony Blavik and Bill Nowak.
Jim, it's an interesting sidelight on this game. In Central Illinois, they have a high school conference called the Big 12, and a lot of these fellas, like Bess and Jokic of Notre Dame, have played against each other in high school. They're meeting again today on the field here at Champaign.
All right, Frank, it's third down, goal to go from the 4 this time. As Blyer gets it, dives over the right side, and he's to about the 1-yard line. Playback and Tomasula make the tackle. Talking about that, Frank, it's my understanding that Dave Tomasula and Mike McGill were teammates in high school. Jerry Schmidt is in now, replacing Rich Erickson for Illinois. The ball is right at the 1-yard line where it's 4th and 1. 4th and goal from the 1. Terry Hanratty hands the ball to his halfback. He's in the end zone for a touchdown. Let's see who the ball carrier was. Bob Gladjo scores for Notre Dame. Dave Tomasula again made the stop for Illinois, but not in time, as Gladjo goes in the end zone for Notre Dame. Joe Azzaro will be in again, I would imagine, to attempt the extra point for the Irish. Places the kicking tee right at the 10-yard line. Terry Hanratty will hold. Everything's all set. There's the snap. The ball is spotted, kicked up in the air, and it's good. Notre Dame has the lead in this football game by the score of 40-7. The one bright spot this afternoon thus far, as Illini fans are concerned, the 2 fine interceptions by co-captain and defensive halfback Ronnie Bess. He returned one 75 yards for a touchdown, returned the second one 76 yards to the Notre Dame 6-yard line.
More scores. Here's a final. Dartmouth 41, Brown 6. Final, Army 14, Rutgers 3. At the half, Mississippi 17, Southern Miss 7. Third quarter, Alabama 7, Tennessee 17. At the half, Colorado 14, Nebraska 7.
There's the kick by Azzaro. It's Brider at the 15-yard line, back to the 20, 25, and he's hit by Quinn and brought down at the 28-yard line. Olson also in on the tackle, but Quinn was the first man to hit him. Dean Volkman comes back in at quarterback for Illinois. Ball is spotted at, let's see, the 28-yard line. We have Volkman in at quarterback. The halfbacks are Houston and Brooks. Check that. Brider is in for Houston, and Johnson is the fullback. Volkman fakes the pitch, goes back to pass. He throws long, intended for right. It's incomplete. Closest man to that football was Tommy Shane, the safety man for Notre Dame.
Again, a case of watching for the man's move. Wright was making his move toward the inside, but he didn't quite make it soon enough, and the pass was overthrown. Had Johnny made his cut toward the post about 5 steps sooner, he might have been able to pull that one in, but it did not happen that way, and so it goes incomplete. Another score, first quarter, Florida State nothing, Texas Tech nothing. At the half, Florida State 14, Texas Tech 3 now, they give us a score.
Second down 10, the ball still at the Illini 28. There's the snap. Volkman back to pass after a fake to the halfback. He's being chased by Kuchenberg. Kuchenberg's got him back at the 20.
Good coverage by Notre Dame. Smithberger had his man tight, and across the way, Martin had his man tight, so there was no pass attempted, no pass completed. Third down situation for Illini at the Illinois 20-yard line.
And that's the end of the third quarter with the score. Notre Dame 40 and Illinois 7.
This is Don Chevalier for ABC Radio's World of Sports, covering the major weekend sports news first from the scene worldwide. We'll be on hand over many of these ABC stations after today's Notre Dame game and throughout the weekend to keep you in touch with all the major sports news as it happens. From Mexico City, you'll hear direct coverage of the Mexican Grand Prix. From Houston, Texas, reports on the Ryder Cup golf matches. We'll bring you first-hand results on the $100,000 added Man of War Stakes at Aqueduct.
Radio KSL is Des Moines.
For the traveler in a hurry, it's Ankeny Conoco, just off Interstate 35 on Enterprise Road. While you enjoy the fast, excellent service of Ankeny Conoco, you're invited to enjoy a free cup of coffee. They also feature rolls, milk, lunch and supplies, and of course for your car, the hottest brand going, Conoco gasolines. Ankeny Conoco, just off Interstate 35, for the traveler in a hurry.
About to begin the fourth and final quarter here at Champaign. Illinois leading 40-7 over Illinois. The Illini have the ball for third down at their 20, and here's Jim Morse.
And it's 3rd and 18 after that loss of 8 yards. One of the boys from Illinois jumps offside, and that brings the right defensive end for Notre Dame, Ed Villeman, also offsides. That was Doug Redmond, the left guard, jumping offside for Illinois. That was a 3rd and 18 situation from the Illinois 20-yard line. And we'll see who has the choice. It looks like it'll be Notre Dame with the choice this time, as Redmond drew Villeman offside. Penalty will be declined. Well, let's see if it'll be declined or not. Illegal procedure against Illinois. Penalty is accepted by Notre Dame and moves the ball back to the 15-yard line.
Aaron looks a little unhappy across the way. I think he wanted to decline that and make the 4th down, which would be a little more logical.
It's 3rd down then and 23 yards to go with the ball at the 15-yard line of Illinois. There's the snap. The handoff goes to the fullback, Rich Johnson, over right tackle, and he moves out to perhaps the 20-yard line. And Bob Olson makes the stop for Notre Dame.
Greg Condello.
Well, with a 4th down situation, Charlie Bryther will undoubtedly come in to kick for Illinois. Tommy Shane now moves back into the safety position for Notre Dame. We're in the 4th quarter, Notre Dame with a 40-7 lead. Bryther stands back at his 5-yard line. Now calls to the referee for a timeout. We're a man short. That's the problem.
While we have this delay in the action, let's pause 10 seconds for station identification.
Dress formal or semi-formal. You may purchase tickets for this venue.
Back again at Champaign, Illinois. Frank Sweeney along with Jim Morse bringing you ABC's Notre Dame football game between Notre Dame and Illinois. 40-7, 4th down, Illinois to punt.
Bryther recognized there were only 10 men on the field for Illinois, so wisely called a timeout. Norris Coleman came in, and we're all set to go. 4th down punting situation. There's the snap and the kick. Low end over end this time. Takes a funny bound as number 7, Tommy Shane, picks it off at the 40, but he's brought down at the 43-yard line by John Wright, who was down there in a hurry. And there's a penalty marker down at the 45-yard line of Illinois. And a clip is indicated. That ball in the air took kind of a funny motion as Tommy Shane looked like he was going to have to go up to catch the football. However, he retreated and finally caught it over his shoulder at his own 40-yard line and moved to his 43 before he was brought down by John Wright, the split end, who was down in a hurry for Illinois.
A couple of final scores. Boston College and Buffalo was Buffalo 26-14 over Boston College. A final Auburn 28, Georgia Tech 10. 15-yard penalty for clipping, walked off against Notre Dame, moves the ball back to the Notre Dame 28-yard line where it will be put into play, 1st down.
Irish out of the huddle again. Split wide to the left is Rocky Blyer. 1st and 10, the ball at the 28-yard line. Rolling to his left now, goes Hanratty, looks over the center, it's intercepted at the 40-yard line, back to the 30, and rolling to the right side and finally brought down is Fred Wolf. Making the tackle for Notre Dame was Jim Riley, the left offensive tackle. Fred Wolf picks off an interception for the Illini, and they'll have the ball at the 27-yard line of Notre Dame.
Terry Hanratty walks off shaking his head. He can't seem to understand how he could have such a phenomenal year last year and then have as many interceptions as the opposition has come up with this fall.
All right, Illinois out of the huddle with Bryther. Split to the left this time. Volkman's the quarterback. He goes back to pass, throws way over the head of the intended receiver, John Wright. He was guarded on the far side of the field by Jim Smithberger.
Wright's fast. He gets downfield quickly in position to receive the pass, but the pass has often this afternoon overthrown the mark.
Going into this ball game, Volkman was 25 of 49, good for 294 yards and 1 touchdown. Now he has a 2nd and 10 situation, moves to his left, and is brought down at the 25-yard line. Making the stop for Notre Dame, Dave Martin, along with big Mike McCoy. Gain of about 2.5 yards. Let's spot the ball at the 24 now and give him a gain of 3 and call it 3rd and 7 as Craig Timko comes in. Len Wieslow comes out of the ball game. Check that. The correct pronunciation is Wieslow. It's 3rd down and 7. The ball at the 24-yard line of Notre Dame as Volkman goes back to pass, throws over the center, and it is incomplete at the 5-yard line. The pass was intended for either Wright or Timko. They were both near the football. Back defending for Notre Dame was Tom Shane, along with Smithberger and O'Leary.
I think actually that time, Jim, Craig Timko reached up to catch the ball. It was just a little bit high for him. He deflected it away from Wright, who was wide open, and might have taken that one in. But that's the breaks of football. It takes a funny tumble sometimes.
Tom Shane was shaking his head a little bit on the pass play, too, because I think he felt the man in front might catch it, and when he missed it, it went right by Shane also. It's 4th down, 7 yards to go with the ball at the Notre Dame 24. Option play to the right this time, and a reverse coming back to Johnny Wright, the end, and he's coming around the left side, but he's caught at the 22-yard line by Tom O'Leary. There was a pitch back that time going from Volkman to the fullback Johnson, and then back to Wright, who came around the left side, but it did not fool Tom O'Leary. And Notre Dame takes over at their own 22-yard line.
Wright was looking for a familiar blue jersey to toss it to, but he couldn't get away with it. And Johnny's limping just a little bit here on the sidelines following that play.
Irish have the football once again. 1st and 10 from their own 22-yard line. Terry Hanratty, still the quarterback for the Irish, goes back to pass, throws to Gladjo, completed the 25, and he's out of bounds at the 32-yard line, ridden out of bounds over there by Ron Bess, who has intercepted 2 passes this afternoon and had 3 going into this football game for now a total of 5.
More scores, the final, Clemson 13, Duke 7. Oklahoma State 15, Kansas 19.
A gain of 8 yards on the play. The ball is spotted right at the 30, 2nd and 2. Terry Hanratty hands the ball and is fumbled. Handed the ball that time, tried to hand the ball, I should say, to Rocky Blyer. Missed the handoff, dropped the ball momentarily, and then fell on it back at the 26-yard line. Nick Furlong is in at split end now for Notre Dame, replacing Jim Seymour. He's split to the right this time, along with Gladjo. It's 3rd down and 7. The ball at the 26 of Notre Dame. Hanratty goes back, rolls to his right, throws now, and it's complete to Blyer at the 27-yard line. He'll be shy of the 1st down as he's tackled immediately by Fred Wolf. Bill Janicek also in on the stop. And we have a 4th down situation for Notre Dame as Frank Pernitti comes in the ball game. And Terry Hanratty goes out.
Some scores in the Big Ten at the 3rd quarter. Ohio State 6, Northwestern nothing. At the half, Wisconsin and Iowa still 7-7 tie.
Rocky Blyer will kick for Notre Dame, standing at his own 14. Back deep for Illinois, Ron Bess and Rich Erickson. Low pass from center. However, Blyer gets the kick away, and it's a good one this time under the circumstances. Fair catch called for by Rich Erickson back at the 34-yard line. Probably the best kick that Blyer has had all day, and he had to hurry up to get it away. There's a flag down here about a little infraction on the 35-yard line, Jim. Let's see what this is about. Well, actually, Frank, there's 2 flags down. Nick Furlong was engaged in a little battle here down at the 35-yard line of Illinois. And then, no, check that, of Notre Dame. And then back at the 35-yard line of Illinois, I believe Notre Dame is going to be called for interference with the fair catch, as Erickson caught it and was immediately bear hugged by one of the Notre Dame linemen. Now let's see which penalty will prevail.
Third period score, Purdue 14, Oregon State 13.
Here's another final score. Bucknell 28, Penn 27. Close one out east.
Was interference call against Notre Dame and clipping call against Illinois. The two penalties, it looks like they're going to nullify one another. But we have another discussion going on. That was the indication we got from Ramey Meyer, the referee. But now, this discussion is going on, Frank.
This is most interesting because the clipping penalty occurred down here a good 5 seconds after the fair catch had been made. And this one's going to take the ruling of a good judge to figure out. Long discussion, long and drawn out at the Illinois 35-yard line. The officials, so far that we've seen this ball, Jim, have been doing their usual excellent job. They don't get too many sticklers in a situation as this has caused. Notre Dame leads 40-7 with about 12 minutes remaining in the fourth and final period. It looks like it's all going to end up down here in Illinois territory, Jim, and we'll see just what it's going to be. Looks like it's going to be a kick again, one nullifying the other, as you indicated about 3 minutes ago. Offsetting penalties, Notre Dame will have to kick over. They'll have fourth down again.
That was probably one of Rocky Blyer's best kicks of the year, and it came, he picked up the ball on about third bounce and got away a nice spiral that time. And with the nullifying penalties, Notre Dame will kick over again. They'll have fourth down from their own 27-yard line. And Rocky Blyer will again punt for Notre Dame. Rich Erickson and Ron Bess are back deep for Illinois. Tim Monty does the centering on kicking situations for Notre Dame. Good center this time. Blyer gets the kick away. It's a spiral and a good one. Going back at the 32-yard line and fumbled there by Rich Erickson. He picks it up, however, and is down at about the 32-yard line. Gladjo was down there along with Ed Tuck to make the stop for Notre Dame.
After all is said and done, Illinois actually lost 3 yards on the exchange. They had it before at the 35. Now they put it into play at their own 32-yard line.
Due to technical difficulties from the original station, we move to further action.
Purdue has its hands full this afternoon. Third quarter score, Purdue 14, Oregon State 13. Also in the third quarter, Oklahoma 32, Kansas State nothing. Third quarter, Minnesota 21, Michigan State nothing.
It's 2nd and 10 from the 38 as Volkman gets the ball. He's rushed and brought down back at the 45-yard line. Olsen in there to make the stop for Notre Dame. Way back at the 45, a loss of 7. Glenn Weislow comes in replacing Craig Timko. Approximately 9 minutes left in this football game. Notre Dame in the lead by the score of 40-7. The ball is at the 44-yard line of Notre Dame. It's third down and about 17 to go for Illinois. John Wright is split to the left. In motion comes the fullback. Back to pass goes Volkman. He completes it to Wright at the 35. Gets away from one tackler. Hit and knocked down by Bob Olsen at around the 33-yard line. That'll be short of the first down, however, as Timko comes back in the ball game at tight end. Weislow goes out. Gain of 13 yards on the play. It'll be fourth down and about 5. The ball at the 32.5 of Notre Dame. Right to the left, Reither to the right. Volkman gets the ball, goes back to pass, throws out here to his left, and it's complete to Wright at the 20-yard line. He's stopped right there by Tom O'Leary. And they have a little match going on.
Here's important information from ABC News, Washington. Some peace demonstrators tried to force an entrance at the Pentagon a few minutes ago. Some were arrested. Some men of the 82nd Airborne were called up as reinforcements. That's the latest from ABC News, Washington.
The ball is spotted at the 19-yard line of Notre Dame. It's First down, 10, Illinois. Back to pass goes Volkman. He throws out here to his right. It is incomplete at the 15-yard line, intended for fullback Rich Johnson. He was hit immediately out there by Tom Shane and Olson. So the ball will come back to the 19-yard line on the near hash mark on the west side of the field. Weislow out, Craig Timko in at the tight end position. It's second down and 10 from the 19 of Notre Dame. Breither splits to the right. The right is flanked to the left. There's the snap. Back to pass goes Volkman. He looks. He throws over the center. It's tipped by Dave Martin. It's incomplete. Pass intended for Charlie Breither again.
Repeating, here is important information from ABC News Washington. Some peace demonstrators tried to force an entrance at the Pentagon a few minutes ago. Some were arrested. Some men of the 82nd Airborne were called up as reinforcements. That's the latest from ABC News Washington. Now back to the Notre Dame-Illinois game.
Third down, 10 yards to go. The ball at the 19-yard line of Notre Dame. There's the snap. And the quarterback, Volkman, is brought down back at the 28 or 29-yard line of Notre Dame by Chuck Lau and Dave Martin. Fourth down situation now. The ball way back at the 28-yard line. This series originated at the 19.
Ball is on the 28-yard line.
Fourth down, 19 yards to go for Illinois. The ball at the Notre Dame 28. Breither is to the right again. As Volkman gets the ball, goes back to pass. He's being rushed. He throws over the center. It's intercepted and dropped by Shane. Tom Shane had that ball right in his hands, and he's an unhappy young man. Wislow was down there behind Shane. The pass was a little bit short.
With about 6 minutes remaining in the ball game, Notre Dame leads Illinois 40-7. Third period score: Florida State 21, Texas Tech 12. Final Virginia Tech 45, Richmond 14.
Notre Dame's ball, first and 10 from their own 28-yard line. Bob Belden is the quarterback for Notre Dame. He's got the ball on the option. He fights his way over the 30-yard line to about the 33-yard line, and there's 3 flags down on the play now. Bill Janicek has a little disagreement down there. Be a penalty this time against Illinois. Bob Belden in at quarterback for Notre Dame, replacing Terry Hanratty. It'll be a 15-yard walk-off this time against Illinois. A personal foul. That moves the ball to the 47-yard line of Notre Dame, where it's first and 10. 6 minutes left in the football game. Notre Dame in the lead, 40-7.
15 yards.
Nick Furlong is split to the right. Haley to the left. Belden on the option to the left this time. Keeps the ball himself and may have gotten a yard or two before he was brought down by Mike Hogan. Good work by Janicek, also in on the tackle, right?
Good work by the Illinois defense on that one. As Belden went to his left on the option, the defenders were right in there on top of him, covering not only him, but the men that he might possibly toss the ball to on the option, so it did not work.
Gain of a yard on the play. Call it second and 9 with the ball now at the 48-yard line. Trinity flank wide to the right. Pitch back this time goes to Haley. He's across the 50 and to the 49-yard line of Illinois. Making the stop, Bill Nowak and Dick Tate. At backfield now for Notre Dame, we have Trinity, Haley, Bob Belden, and we'll see who that fullback is. Ed Ziegler is in at fullback for Notre Dame. The situation is this: 3rd and 7 from the 49 of Illinois. Belden gets the ball, back to pass, throws out here, it's incomplete, tipped that time by Tony Playback. Incomplete. Pass was intended out here for Frank Trinity.
Final score, Tennessee 24, Alabama 13. Third quarter score, Iowa has taken a 14-7 lead over Wisconsin.
Penalty markers down on the field. No official signal as yet. Bob Belden goes over to talk to Coach Ara Parsegian. Now the walk-off is going against Notre Dame, 15 yards. And that will move the ball all the way back to the 36-yard line. Offensive interference that time was called against Notre Dame. That'll bring in Rocky Blyer with 4th down and 25. He'll be kicking from his own 22-yard line. There's the snap. End over end kick this time, taken at the 28-yard line by Rich Erickson, and he's down right in his tracks. Dave Haley makes the stop for Notre Dame. There's timeout on the field with the score. Notre Dame 40 and Illinois 7.
Flats in Ankeny is the place where well-dressed men and young men shop. Shop this week at Flats for Freeman shoes. All are the popular wingtips for just $19.95. The well-dressed man on campus wears Jansen sweaters in all the latest colors and styles. They start at just $10 at Flats for men and young men in Ankeny. The Ankeny Chamber of Commerce is proud of their rapidly growing community and would welcome you as part of it. They point with pride to Ankeny's fine churches, outstanding school system, progressive merchants, and friendly citizens. The Ankeny Chamber of Commerce says, live the good life, live in Ankeny. For the traveler in a hurry, it's Ankeny Conoco, just off Interstate 35 on Enterprise Road. While you enjoy the fast, excellent service of Ankeny Conoco, you're invited to enjoy a free cup of coffee. They also feature rolls, milk, lunch, and supplies, and of course, for your car, the hottest brand going, Conoco gasolines.
While we were away, Rich Johnson carried for 2 yards around left end from the 29 to the 31, and Rick Volkman just went back to pass and lost the 2 yards that Johnson had picked up, so the ball is back at the 29-yard line of Illinois, where it's 3rd down and 10. 4 minutes left in the football game. If you joined us late, Notre Dame has a 40-7 lead over the Fighting Illini. They also have the football, 3rd and 10 from their own 29 as Volkman goes back to pass. Throws long this time. Way back. Oh, incomplete at the 30-yard line. Almost a beautiful catch by John Wright. As a matter of fact, I was getting ready to call the completion, and the pass just trickled off the end of his fingers. A nice diving try by Johnny Wright. Defending for Notre Dame were both Jim Smithberger and Tom Shane.
Wright was in position to catch that ball. Actually, Don Reed, defensive back for Notre Dame, was lying prone on the ground, and in that last step that Wright had to make for the ball, he stepped on Reed, and it just slowed him up enough that the pass went incomplete.
Don Reed will be the boy that will go back deep now for Notre Dame. Now it's changed. Quinn will go back. Tom Quinn. Bryther will kick for Illinois with a 4th and 10 from their own 29. There's the snap. The kick is almost blocked. It's Tom Quinn at the Notre Dame 40, back to the 45, to the 50, to the 45, 40. One man to get by. He gets by Bryther. He'll go all the way into the end zone for a touchdown. Tom Quinn had one man to beat. After he got by the initial charge, he got by Charlie Bryther, the kicker, and went 60 yards on a punt return for the touchdown. Johnson is down on the field now. He's the fullback for Illinois. He was banged up at the 35-yard line on a vicious block by a Notre Dame man.
On the 40-yard line by Tom Quinn.
And the team trainer for Illinois is working on his leg right at the 35-yard line of Illinois. Tommy Quinn just returned that punt 60 yards for the touchdown.
I was just thinking to myself over here a while ago, Jim, that in the second half, Illinois and Notre Dame had played actually to a 7-7 tie. Notre Dame led at the halftime 33-0, and since the halftime break scored 1 touchdown, and Illinois scored 1 touchdown. But now the Irish have totaled up that scoreboard to read Illinois 7 and Notre Dame 46. While we wait for the point after try, the Illinois injured man is being lifted and taken from the field, limping somewhat, but I think he'll be okay.
That's Rich Johnson coming off the field now for Illinois. Notre Dame in the lead, 46-7. Joe Azzaro, I would assume, will be in to kick the extra point, or attempt the extra point for Notre Dame. Notre Dame is in the huddle now at their own 10-yard line. 3 minutes, 20 seconds remaining in the football game. Out of the huddle come the Irish. It's going to be Mike Heaton to attempt the extra point now, as Bob Belden will hold for the Irish. There's the snap. The ball spotted up in the air, and Heaton makes it good. The score is Notre Dame 47 and Illinois 7.
At Ankeny Western Auto in the Ankeny Plaza, they're always willing to serve you, and right now, Bob Bianchi invites you to look at their line of Admiral Color TV. They have the new 68 models as well as plenty of 67 to choose from. And Color TV prices start as low as $388 at Ankeny Western Auto. Also featuring a closeout sale on Amana products. Ankeny Western Auto, Ankeny Plaza. Ankeny Chamber of Commerce believes there are several things essential for a well-rounded community. Sound city government, sound law enforcement, good schools, and last but not least, good churches. Ankeny has 9 churches to serve its citizens, so a person moving to Ankeny may find a spiritual home in this progressive, friendly city. Join the happy group of satisfied people who are enjoying beautiful homes furnished by Lintz Frontier Furniture and Carpet of Ankeny. Lintz carry a complete line of carpet and furniture to include famous names such as Broyhill, Empire, International, American of Martinsville, Kaler, Mohawk, Sealy, and Englander. For furniture values and names you know, shop at Lintz Frontier Furniture, Westview Shopping Center, Ankeny.
We'll try and pick out those Notre Dame defenders now, as Illinois has 1st and 10 from their own 36-yard line. In the defensive secondary for Notre Dame, we have Tom Quinn, Don Reed, and Pete Donahue. One of the linebackers is Lavin. 1st and 10, Illinois from their own 36. Back to pass goes Volkman. Throws long down the left side to right. He's got it on a beautiful catch at the Notre Dame 37-yard line. Defending for Notre Dame was Pete Donahue. Joe Feebury is in at a linebacker position before Notre Dame, along with John Lavin. Front 4 now. Kuchenberg is still in there. Jokic is in there. And Eric Norrie is in there. 1st and 10 at the 37. Back to pass goes Volkman. He completes it again at the 25 to Johnny Wright. And Wright is brought down immediately by Joe Freeberry.
Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification.
Radio KSO. Keep the morning.
Back at Memorial Stadium is Frank Sweeney along with Jim Morse. Illinois is up the line of scrimmage. Here's Jim.
And it's 1st and 10 at the Notre Dame 25. Back to pass goes Volkman again. Looks over the center. It's batted up in the air. It's incomplete. Almost intercepted by Quinn. Jim Roulette is in at a linebacker position for Notre Dame. And Brian Stenger is playing the right defensive end.
Johnny Wright has given Notre Dame added reason that they cannot let up on pass defense with him, because when quarterback Volkman has the time, Wright is in the spot, and he has tremendous hands. He has fine moves, and he could be more of a threat to the Irish this afternoon if the defense was not working quite as well as it is. A third period score, Boston University 10, Holy Cross 7. Period is 47-7, Notre Dame over Illinois.
Larry Schumacher is in at the right outside linebacker position for Notre Dame. 2nd and 10 from the 25. Volkman is being chased, and he's brought down back at the 35-yard line. Jim Merletti's in there along with Larry Schumacher and Bob Kuchenberg for the Irish. Ball is going to be spotted, however, at the 32. The 3rd down and approximately 18 yards to go.
Next Saturday afternoon, Jim Morse and I will take this ABC microphone back to South Bend for your listening. Michigan State against Notre Dame at South Bend.
Ryther and Wright are to the right this time. 3rd and 18 as Volkman goes back to pass, looks down the middle, throws long, intended for Wright. It's incomplete. Broken up very nicely back there in the end zone by Don Reed. Pass was intended for Johnny Wright again.
Pass was on the mark again, too, and it was just the omnipresent Reed there that was able to break it up. First half score, Tulsa 28, Cincinnati 6. A final, Harvard 14, Cornell 12. About a minute and 20 seconds remaining in the football game. It's 4th down, 18 yards to go, Illinois. The ball is at the Notre Dame 33-yard line.
John Reed, the boy that broke up that last pass, is only a sophomore from Flint, Michigan. 6'1", 185 pounds. Doing a good job replacing Tom Shane. All right, here we go. As Volkman goes back to pass again, he throws. It is incomplete, almost intercepted by Tom Quinn. Into and out of his hands. The pass was intended for Charlie Bryther. So the Irish will have another shot at the football. 1st and 10 from their own 33-yard line.
Knocked down by Tom Quinn. And Notre Dame takes over on down.
1 minute, 20 seconds remaining in this football game. Notre Dame with a big lead, 47-7 over the Illini. Nick Long split to the left this time for Notre Dame. I formation in the backfield. Haley on the wing to the left. Bob Belden's the quarterback. He rolls to his left. He throws. It's complete at the 40-yard line to Ziegler, to the 50, and down to the 45-yard line of Illinois. Check that. That was Haley, the receiver, Dave Haley. Rich Erickson and Ron Bess make the stop on Haley. And the ball is at the 43-yard line of Illinois. Gain of 24 yards on the play. It's 1st and 10 for the Irish. Belden gets the ball, goes back to pass, rolls to his right now, being chased, gets away from one man, gets away from two men. He's going to run with it. He's back to the line of scrimmage and down to the 39-yard line before he's stopped by Dave Tomasula and Jeff Trigger.
Bob Belden, the quarterback. Ball carrier, Jeff Trigger on the tackle.
Notre Dame takes a timeout now with about 35 seconds remaining on the scoreboard clock. Bob Belden goes over to talk to head coach Ara Parsegian.
Kay Schultz, the director of sports information for the Big Ten, sends out a weekly reminder of what records have been established thus far. And until today's game, the longest pass interception was by Mel Walker in a game in Wisconsin against Arizona State. So Illinois will gather something from this Notre Dame game today in those two long pass interception runs by Ron Bess. And although Notre Dame has certainly outclassed the Illini today, the fans had some excitement in those pass returns.
2nd down and 6 from the 39-yard line of Illinois. Furlong is split to the right this time. Belden gets the football, goes straight back to pass. He looks. He throws it, got plenty of time. It's incomplete at the 10-yard line. Pass intended on the far side of the field for Ed Ziegler. Defending for Illinois was Ron Bess.
And a final in here in the Big Ten. Indiana continuing its winning ways. Beat Michigan today. Indiana 27, Michigan 20. And a final, Holy Cross 21, Boston University 17.
3rd down, 6 yards to go for Notre Dame. The ball at the 39-yard line of Illinois. Nick Furlong again is split to the right for the Irish. There's the snap. Pitch back is wild this time. Back at the 30, at the 20, let's see, check that, the 49-yard line. And it is recovered by Notre Dame. Pitchback was intended for Dave Haley, and it went wild, and he was able to land on the ball, however, back at the 47-yard line. Tony Playback was the boy that was trying to get the ball for Illinois. Very little time left in the game. There's the whistle. That's the end of the game with the final score, Notre Dame 47 and Illinois 7.
Max Kalman invites you to come into Gene Nichols and Ankeny store and see the nationally advertised Mastercraft sofas and chairs. At Nicholson's, there's a large selection to choose from. Call or see Max today about trading in your old sofa for a new one by Mastercraft. Call him at 964-4215. Nicholson's Ankeny store, open 10 a.m. to 9 p.m. Monday through Friday till 5:30 on Saturday. Ankeny Chamber of Commerce invites business leaders who may be looking for a suitable site to build a new plant to inspect Ankeny's 240-acre industrial park, which has water, sewer, and electrical facilities already installed. For further information on industrial sites, contact Harold Bush at Ankeny City Hall. Ankeny Chamber of Commerce wants you to build and grow with Ankeny. During or after any game is the right time to enjoy a delicious Made Right from Harold's on Highway 69 in Ankeny. You won't have to wait long either, because Harold's features fast service. While there, you might want to have a bowl of chili, or maybe you'd go for those great conies at Harold's. Give the wife a break from the kitchen. Let her enjoy Made Rights from Harold's on Highway 69 in Ankeny.
The Irish gave notice that they were out to avenge their loss last weekend to Southern Cal. Joe Azzaro on 2 quick field goals put the Irish in the lead, 7-0. A touchdown by Zimmerman, a Seymour pass reception from Hanratty. Gladio for a 14-yard run, another long pass, 48 yards, Hanratty to Seymour, and the first half ended with Notre Dame leading 33-0. Ron Best of Illinois set this crowd alive with a 75-yard pass interception, returning it for a touchdown. It was just a minute and a half gone in the third quarter. McKissick's point after was good, and that made it 33-7. But the Illini were not to score again. Ron Best did intercept for another pass for 76 yards and moved it down to the Notre Dame 5, but the Irish held. Gladio scored on 1 yard out in the minute to go in the third quarter, and then Tom Quinn on a 60-yard punt return, followed up by Heaton's point after, made that the Irish the winner, 47-7. It was an ideal day. It was a packed crowd here at Champaign-Urbana, Illinois today. The odds makers had figured Notre Dame would win, and the Irish did not change anything in that. Next Saturday afternoon, our ABC broadcast crew will again be at Notre Dame Stadium in South Bend, Indiana, where Michigan State will play the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame, and that game should be a great one. This is Frank Sweeney speaking for myself and my partner Jim Morse, hoping that you'll join us then.